Hey, folks, and welcome to the North American Open Division Cup. I am Waffles for Sid, joined by party member Dividing, and we are going to be joining you on your adventure throughout today's games. Dividing, how are you doing, and what is on your mind going into today's different matches?
Well, first of all, I am doing fantastic, Sid. We have an amazing slate of games set up for you today as we go through the winners and a bit later the losers bracket in North American Open Division, starting off with Spectre versus Best Buds. Now, the big story going into this game, of course, if you follow the Reflash Twitter, a massive upset happened off screen yesterday, Sid, as Best Buds, the number 32 seed going into today's match, knocked out Drifters, the number one seed, the team that qualified for trials and won Open Division last time, are now currently fighting it out in the losers bracket because of Best Buds, which is no one was expecting that going into this. I think everyone, if you ask them going into this weekend, thought we would be seeing Drifters in this game today.
Yeah. Drifters is a very well-established team, and they definitely had their eyes on, some of those top potential prize spots. But Best Buds came through and gave everyone a curveball. I mean, if we had done a bracket and guessed who was going to do what, Best Buds pretty much blew everybody's bracket right there in that round. And, coming out of that win for them, it's a lot of pressure knocking out such a high ranking team. And, they got to be riding pretty high after that. And, you know, both of these teams are going to have their eyes on that prize pool. First place is getting $1,000. Second place gets $500, and both third and fourth get $250. So, really gonna be trying to knock each other out this round once again.
Yeah, and of course, the prize that I think everyone is really aiming for here, spots in contenders trials, are up for
Oh yeah.
grabs for, I believe, the top two finishers in this tournament. Both these teams, I think, have done a lot, of course, to get to this point. Obviously, we talked about Best Buds. Spectre did actually knock out number 16 Shikigami going
Yeah.
into this game.
Ooh, and
Um, yeah, which has been just absolutely, not as big of an upset as the Best Buds just went through, but they were, in fact, it is in fact an upset, at least if we're going just by seeding. And uh,
totally. Well, and it's
it,
gotta feel good for them too. I do know that on Spectre, Rain, who we'll see coming up, used to play on Shikigami. So, when you go up against kind of your old team, so to say, you might have a little bit extra edge or pep in your step when you're, looking for kills and whatnot. So it's gotta feel good to know that they've also been growing and obviously the synergy with Spectre has been paying off and they've made it here to round four of Open Division.
yeah, absolutely. Both these teams coming into this as kind of newly established teams as
Yeah.
well. Best Buds and Spectre both haven't really been around for more than a month. And fun thing I noticed, I looked at Best Buds. They posted their last minute of their game against Drifters or
Ooh.
so on Twitter. It's a great video. I recommend taking a look at it. Something funny. Best Buds were communicating to each other through Overwatch team chat. They did not have a Discord channel. They did not have TeamSpeak, nothing like that. The default voice chat client that is in the game, that is what they were talking with, and everyone just went absolutely crazy when they confirmed the win against Drifters. And
Wow.
yeah, just absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see what, as they say, the power of family is going to get them. Because at this point, after knocking down the number one seed, the sky is the limit
Yeah.
for this team.
And there's a lot of eyes on this team as well. They have really pretty much broken open the gate, making a name for themselves. And we're going to have to see how they, really continue to establish themselves through the continuing rounds of Open Division. This is one of our, earlier streamed matches that we've had. And well, we'll have to see if Best Buds can consistently bring that heat that they brought against Drifters, or if Spectre's going to hold strong.
As we start to head into our first map, Busan, we're going to be starting off on Mecha Base, one of probably the most closed off and narrow of the three sub-maps of Busan. While we are seeing a bit more of a traditional Brawl Rhine Diva comp coming out from Best Buds, Spectre's coming out with a double shield Echo comp. Amazing is probably going to have a bit of trouble finding space with these low ceilings.
Yeah, Spectre already moving around, and they've pretty much swapped sides all the way around and now facing off across the bridge, give and take, trying to create that space and those opportunities. A lot of halts coming through with a lot of damage being thrown right there to follow up, but no kills quite coming off the back end of it yet. Some people are falling low, and well, as you can see, a lot of chip and poke damage being exchanged. Points finally capped in favor of Best Buds, and well, there's the kills coming through as well. Charge from all the way downtown goes ahead and takes out Rain, but Spectre is coming back with a vengeance with a couple kills of their own. This point is still in favor of Best Buds, but looks like Spectre's looking to cap now, dividing.
Yeah, as we see Constant finally push up onto the point, finds a double kill with the Orisa. The overall speed that comes out of this Ryan Lucio comp that Best Buds are playing, it allowed them to take early presence on the point and actually take control early. So it's basically a free 26% over to Best Buds, but once Rymazing and Rain started getting value on those more high-range picks, it was all over.
Yeah, no, Flux gonna be opening it up the fight for Spectre here. Rymazing goes down. He gets stabbed in the back by Backstab Bud himself. And, well, the point is now flipped back over in favor of Best Buds. They managed to go ahead and take that possession even in the thick of that fight. And now Spectre's just trying to regroup a bit and get ready for their next push.
Yep, trades going back either side. Constant actually doesn't want to stop investing just yet. The bongo's going to be put up onto the point now, and that is just going to confirm the rest of the kills for Spectre. But again, the early point presence from Best Buds is coming up huge. They haven't won a fight yet, Sid, yet they have 53% of the point already.
Right. Which I gotta say is some great movement coming around from them and ability to just read the tempo of the fight. And, well, the name of the game is to take control here of the point as much as you can. Look at that. More and more halts coming through, and the sound barrier is what's going to reinforce everybody on the team of Best Buds. The trance is answered in kind, and, well, who is going to survive through all these heals? The pulse bombs a find on Rain right there, and now it is back and forth. Spectre's capped it in their favor, and, oh, another kill coming through. Kai's Diva Bomb just destroyed everyone right there out in the open and is going to allow Best Buds to recap that point.
Yes, as long as they manage to pick up Rymazing, and they do, Best Buds should be able to take the lead on point percentage once again. However, it was pretty expensive for them using the beat early in that fight to try and aggress, and then Kai's beat bomb was needed to push through the rest of the way. But now they don't really have anything to deal with LPZ's Gravitic Flux here.
Yeah, and he went ahead, used it up, and the Immortality Field committed early. There's all the kills coming through as everyone is just in each other's face, trying to duke it out as much as they can. Oh, and Pulse Bomb Eat in the back coming through from Kai, and another one thrown, finding Constant right there. Best Buds is doing their best to hold this doorway here, but finally Spectre looking like they're able to break through a bit. The point is at 95%, and we are in very, very close to almost losing this point here. Just at the end, Rain gets taken down. Now it's up to LPZ to try and take this fight, and a good amount of DM left to block that Breath Blossom, but they couldn't get on. Oh no.
And that is going to do it, at least for round one here. The best buds prove why that brawl comp ends up being played more often than not on this map. Even if they weren't winning fights, they were able to take point control and playing the objective. That's what Overwatch is all about here, isn't it? As now we move on to Shrine, and we actually aren't seeing very many changes coming out from either team. I'm not sure if Backstab Bud is going to stick with this Torv. It is, of course, very good flanker, really good at deferring flankers, which I think is what it's going for, as now we see the big changes coming out. We're going to be seeing a double shield matchup coming out between these two teams. Now, what I'm looking forward to is Rain on the McCree versus Backstab Bud on the Torbjorn. How are these two picks, the only differences between these two, going to affect the overall matchup?
Oh, an accretion straight to the face to open up right there. Now both Orissas are trying to take space on the point. Spectre went ahead and bunkered up first, but we'll have to see if that's what's actually going to pay off. The boulder straight into Red X's face takes him out of the equation. Now that Best Buds has lost a lot of heals and a lot of their potential to brawl, it's going to be a very difficult fight for them to try and take this point. No one has capped it yet, but the kills are still coming through for Spectre, and they're going to be able to take it now.
Yeah, you can't let LPZ get an accretion through like that, especially when you have two potential shields to hide behind. And you see the Sigma difference going on between these two teams right now. LPZ just about doubling Kai's ult percentage as of right now. Wondering if maybe the double shield just tends to be what Spectre is a little bit more comfortable on. But Sloth does have the advantage on pulse bomb percentages. He's probably going to be looking for a big pulse bomb here.
Look, everybody's got the same idea. Amp Matrix is popped at pretty much the same time. Pulse bomb doesn't find anything. He's able to just skirt back just a little bit there. During that high noon, though, gets hit with the molten core because he's stuck, can't move. Backstab Buds are able to go ahead and flip the point in their favor, but they've been grouped up just in time for LPZ to throw his flux. But geez, with Sloth putting all that work in and getting all the punch kills, a hat trick of punch kills dividing, that's Best Buds with that fight victory.
Sloth is absolutely owning this Tracer matchup right now, taking out Rymazing early into the fight, making sure that he couldn't even build up a pulse bomb of his own, and then taking out two more. Even with LPZ committing the Gravitic Flux, Sloth put his team on his back there, as now the ult percentages are going to be evening up going into this next fight.
Yeah, Sloth is going to warrant a boxing skin from Tracer with that type of performance. The Flux is already used coming through from Kai, and now it's responded with two superchargers on the ground right now. Who's going to be able to come out on top? Best Buds getting very close and brawling it out. Turrets taken down, so a lot of back-end pepper damage removed from the court for them. And well, now they're going to shoot through that Amp Matrix, trying to do their best to create more space, but it's looking a little rough for them here. There's not a ton of people to continue reinforcing. Then the high noon popped, and Rain also taken out with the pulse bomb by Sloth. What a shutdown dividing.
Beautiful play coming out from Best Buds. This is how double shield is supposed to work. You plant yourself down on a spot, and you dare the other team to try and remove you. And so far, that's not happening. But Rymazing finds Sloth slacking a little bit, and they are going to be able to push in. With how much work Sloth is doing, this is an easy go button now for Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, Sloth was just caught squatting in the bushes right there on the side, and Rymazing coming in with a vengeance. Backstab Bud doing good, trying to keep Best Buds in this fight, and that Molten Core is going to do a lot of zoning on the point here. Immortality Field has to be committed from Spectre to keep them in this fight. The overtime bar is active. If anyone is off the point from Spectre, it's over, and that's it! Best Buds takes this first map win here at Busan.
Best Buds showing why they were the ones who upended Drifters in just the round before this one. Whether it was the brawl on Mecha Base or the double shield on Shrine, they understood their win condition. They knew how to exploit the weaknesses of the other side, and honestly, just did a fantastic job on both of these maps, showing
Wow.
not just mechanical skill, but also a lot of flexibility. Uh, Beautiful stuff coming out from Best Buds, and I think we've got a good game on our hands, Sid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw those cards right there with Sloth and Pinhead, both in the 70% for kill participation. And, when you see that much extra support coming through from those players, I feel like it's a little bit more apparent who needs to be shut down because, well, value is obvious. Pretty good match coming out from Busan. What are your thoughts on some of the defense that we saw from Spectre when they were on the point a bit and just couldn't quite take it back after they lost it?
Yeah, I think that Spectre is having trouble just being able to take and keep space. They're playing a very, very passive double shield comp. They are tending to play with Echo, with McCree, some more long range DPS and Best Buds are playing with. They're doing a lot more Tracer, a lot more Torb is very close range,
Yeah.
Reaper. Because of that, Best Buds is wanting to get up in the face of Spectre and get the win that way, just roll them over, while Spectre is currently trying to just wait in a place that's probably not on the point for their more long-range, their Echoes, their McCrees, to get value. Unfortunately, Best Buds, either Spectre takes too long to get anything and Best Buds is still able to get a lot of value, or Spectre manages to win, but then gets rolled over once again not very long after. That's what I saw in that first map.
Yeah, and it definitely took a lot of time for, like you said, for Spectre to get any momentum rolling to start their play, and Best Buds was holding them very far forward. At that, you remember we saw them at the archway towards the far side where the drop off happens in Mecha Base, and they were being aggressive. And even after they had lost a couple people, they still continued to push forward and cleave and just prevent Spectre from being able to break through and essentially just push them back and keep them off balance.
Yeah, Spectre now very much on the back foot here. The power of family from Best Bud seems to be sustaining them very well so far, but also
Yes.
some very, very good team play, which of course probably comes with if these guys genuinely are Best Buds, comes with I can definitely see the amount of
They
trust
are.
that these guys have in each other.
Well, they
As we
I did
Sorry.
get confirmation. They are best buds. The team name does hold true on that front, and they've actually been friends for around 3+ years. A full roster of all six of them, not as long, but the core, they're able to read each other's minds and anticipate, and I can see the synergy they have. Oh,
Absolutely. As we get ready to go onto Route 66, some very interesting and exciting DPS choices coming out from Spectre here. Rain on the Ash, a very common pick here, especially when she can just kind of get up on the top of big girls and rain down dynamites and headshots from above. And Ryan Mazing currently showing that Genji, I don't think his damage buff has gone through yet. I think that's still an experimental, so
yeah.
they are very much, they're still putting a lot of faith into that mid-fight strength that Genji has with the shurikens, and hoping that he can get some value out with the blade as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be Spectre setting up here on top of Big Earl's gas station. Poke damage here, just trying to, like we talked about, play a little slower. Accretion comes through once again, following up on those halts. Both of these teams have been just beautifully throwing damage at every halt that comes through, but I mean, you got to stop the point at some time, and Best Buds are continuing to roll it forward here. They have gotten aggressive now, moving up towards Big Earls, and well, with Hattori on the high ground, thanks to that TP, he is posing a lot of threat and creating space. Really nice job, and look at all that pressure. They've been able to continue pushing this cart forward here. Now they're retreating a little bit into the garage, and bloodthirsty support kill already coming through, but this time for Spectre. We'll have to see if they can capitalize on that, and it's going to be even harder with the Amp Matrix. They respond with their own, but it doesn't matter dividing. They were shattered on the ground, and you can't shoot through the Amp Matrix if you're sitting down.
Big shatter coming out from Hattori to finish off that fight. As now Rain here, look at this. The the staggered Ash isn't something that we see super often, but yeah, once again we see that super passive playstyle from Spectre come through and really bite them as the fight continued. I think they were hoping that Rain or Raimazing or a nice pull from Constant would be able to get a pick off on Best Buds before they could really get much point presence, but it didn't really happen until they were already closing in on the end of point A. So they were put in a position where they were forced to fight, and, you know, this comp really hates fighting up close.
Yes, it does. Raimazing goes ahead, pops the blade here. He's in the immortality field and is taking a lot of advantage of it, but it's going to be a difficult fight for both sides. The flux and the wall for each opposing side coming through, and it's Spectre able to find the kills and coordinate enough and just focus fire everyone down. Poor Hattori is one of the last people left trying to hold this point out, but they're going to be able to stall the point finally here on Route 66.
They're able to stall the point, and they also have control over these very powerful high ground positions on Route 66B. They do it, but it takes a lot. They use 4 ultimates in that fight, Spectre does, in order to take control. So they're only going to have the Bongo from Constant and the Amp Matrix from Koan to try and keep this control. As Best Buds, look at this little flank maneuver they're putting on to also have the high ground.
Oh, and here it is, Amp Matrix opening up the fight. We do have Sloth on the McCree as well, and we'll have to see what that... Oh, he's the first person to go down, so not the change he was looking for. Shatter comes through, finding a few people, and that shield was popped so quickly, trying to mitigate that damage. And, I mean, a couple people went down, but all in all, that was worth it. Spectre able to just come out on top once again defensively.
And that was absolutely massive for Spectre. Look at the ults now. There's absolutely nothing for Best Buds. They're working with 0 as far as the ult bank, and 4 ultimates on line for Spectre, which means if they know this, they can try and really spread this this advantage out and make this really advantageous for them for more than one fight.
Blade is thrown and he's stunned out of it, just cut down right away. It was a big ultimate used, but everyone else from Spectre was there to follow up. He was the only one to go down, but all the resources went into taking down Raimazing, and well, there you have it, another defense.
Yeah, shout out to Sloth. Nice flash headshot onto Raimazing to shut down the blade. But yeah, the rest of the team was more than ready to follow up on LPZ's Gravitic Flux. Unfortunately, though, that was most of their ultimates. It's now pretty much the beat from Redx, which he's going to use to engage.
Yeah, and Best Buds pushing forward here a little bit over the high ground, and now even more towards the payload. The Bob has been thrown out, and that is another person throwing damage from Spectre, and it is a lot for Best Buds to take on. They are down a man, and the halts coming through have been absolutely deadly. So much damage being thrown at them, and well, a lot of resources have to be forced out in response. They're trying to get aggressive and push forward and break through this little turn here on Route 66, but Spectre once again holding strong.
At this point, Best Buds has tried to push through this point B like 6 times and has failed each and every time. You have to look at this comp and say, what can you swap up here? Redx is going to go over to the Brig to try and make his team a little more sturdy, if a little bit slower. So that is a change coming out here, but I don't know. I feel like that's going to make things even harder because now they don't have that speed boost to try and close the distance on Spectre's comp. They're just going to take more and more poke damage.
Yeah, and with only 1 minute left as well, it's going to be, you know, time is really of the essence dividing, and they've already gotten mowed down. They do have one chance for one more team fight.
Yeah, I have to wonder what the Torb pick is doing here. Like, why do you pick Torb right now in this game? Usually you like to have the turret in order to try and get rid of flankers or try and keep them away. But, no one on Spectre is really playing any flankers. When it comes to just pure damage, there are other heroes that do what Torb does and better. So it just becomes,
Man, Dividing, they just cut down everyone on Best Buds right here on the last fight. They had all the resources and ultimates and pretty much wanted to seal the deal before with no contest and no question here on this last fight.
Yeah, Red X is gonna come in to try and contest for just a moment, but yeah, at this point the payload has gone pretty much all the way back to the front of point B and even.
Okay. Thought there was a chance there that they were gonna cut. I saw the Ant Matrix had a little hope, and well, look at this, Amazing, amazing, like his namesake is suggesting, and. Wow, he was cutting through a lot of people, Dividing. Really, really successful, in my opinion, on that Genji.
Very successful, especially once he and the rest of his team were able to get set up on those high grounds of point B. What ended up happening was no matter what Best Buds tried to do to try and close the space between those teams, they just took too much poke damage on their way to the other team. They couldn't figure out a way to get to the point to Spectre in one piece in a good enough shape to take a close range fight like they wanted to. And because of that, now Spectre finds themselves in a very favorable position. Of course, the full hold's still something that's very possible for Best Buds, as they seem to be locking in a very traditional brawl comp. They're going to be doubling down on this in-your-face play style. On the other hand, though, the Orisa coming out once again from Constant. They also are doubling down on this more long-range comp. And I guess my question here for Best Buds is how are you going to be able to avoid the damage coming out from Rain, the hook coming out from LPZ, long enough for yourself to get into a close enough position that you then have the advantage? Well, I see how now they're going to go with a close... looks like they're going to try with a close train push, but seems to be a bit of a last-second decision.
Yeah, or, they just... trains take a minute to get that momentum going, right, Dividing? Can't just, I guess bullet trains pretty much got that magnetic function going pretty quick. Oh man, that dynamite coming through so consistently from Rain has been getting everybody crispy. Everybody. I mean, at least catching 3 people minimum each time. And the damage that he's able to put just peppering long range is absolutely devastating. They can't mitigate it and they can't put pressure on him in the back.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good idea from Best Buds to try and force a close range fight, but the longer the fight goes on, the more that Spectre respawns, the more they have to deal with. So, and Amazing, look at that, 83% to the blade already, just showing how much value he's getting out of those shurikens is absolutely incredible. We'll have the blade coming up on this next fight, and Red X is nowhere close to the beat.
I think Kai eating these halts is going to be really critical for Best Buds to have a little bit better and easier engagements. There's so much damage being thrown into those halts to follow up, and they've thrown their own Amp Matrix trying to force Spectre to back up here. A couple of trades on the tanks go through from each teams, and there are the ultimates. They're going to be popped and flying around. Mason trying to find and cut everyone through. A couple of his teammates finishing it up for him, and oh, he was 3 Dividing, able to finally get that little health pack, and it's just backstab stalling out this last little bit.
Yeah, even with the Amp Matrix to his back, the focus fire onto Hattori was just too strong for the Reinhardt to sustain through. And so with that, point A has been captured for Spectre, and it's just a mere 58 meters separating them from tying up this series. Backstab Bud is going to go back onto the Torb now, but he has to deal with both tank ults and both support ultimates that are coming up from Spectre right now. It's looking tough, especially since they have to hold this for over 4 minutes, Sid.
You know, Spectre was in a similar situation when, in the reverse side, they were in a similar situation. So, it is possible, but everyone here is going to be looking to win and pretty much just take this away from the other team. A little bit scrappy as we engage with the Earth Shatter, dropping a lot of people from Spectre on the ground. A couple of them do manage to go down, but it doesn't look like there's enough follow-up or heals coming through. They're still losing people from Best Buds, and the pin just misses her. Oh man, just by a hair, and that is going to be Spectre continuing to push his payload.
Yeah, now Best Buds have to rush to get back to the point in time. Just about 20 now meters separating Spectre and a map win. They're going to be coming back with the High Noon likely from Sloth, and Backstab Bud is very close to the Molten Core, so two very good zoning ultimates coming up. But Rai Amazing, he has the Blade once again and is looking to confirm the map win for his team.
Yeah. He has been nasty on this Genji, but Kai gets an early pick onto Rain. This could be a great tide-turning opening for Best Buds to try and hold this payload here. Oh, Hattori goes down. That's a big shield out of the way for Spectre, as now they're going to continue to try to aggress forward. A lot of peppering damage from each opposing team, and it is so close to being capped, less than 1 meter away, but Best Buds are continuing to do their best and hold strong. Sloth up here just slaughtering people from the high ground, absolutely trying to clutch it out from his team. And well, there's just a couple people left on Spectre trying to push this forward, but looks like Best Buds may be able to hold strong here just at the end.
Yeah, so many ultimates being committed from both sides. I mean, at this point, the spawn distances from both sides are going to be super close, but a big shatter from Hattori manages to find Rai Amazing, and now the respawns from Best Buds are coming back, and it looks like now it's Spectre that's on the back foot.
Oh man, and what a crazy flip of events this has been. Best Buds just able to hold that fight. Jeez, dividing. I think that was actually a 2.5 minute fight right there.
Yeah, and in that 2.5 fight, I think all 6 ultimates were used at some point. I mean, I felt like we were back in GOATS meta for a second there.
Yeah.
As now, we are kind of back to 0 when it comes to ultimates. Backstab Bud has the Molten Core, and he's going to use it early to buy his team some more time.
And space.
And space, yeah. Spectre forced to back up here. And they really don't have much to work with. Now, all of a sudden, their time bank has dwindled down to just 1 minute. They really have one more really good fight and then probably one more rush fight here to try and finish this off. A beautiful shot from Rain, though.
There it is, the early pick onto Sloth, and another one coming through from LPZ. That's another support out of the picture for Best Buds, and it is going to be everything that they have to try to stay in this fight. Spectre starting to pull ahead here, and there it is, the cart almost rolling forward. 3 people on the ground right there, and another 3K coming in from Rai Amazing this time. What a blade. Not surprising considering how often he's been doing that, and man, the pressure from this DPS on Spectre, absolutely nutty as they're able to roll it just at the end with, now we're tied up dividing.
1-1. Best Buds made it close with some great stall play near the end of point B, but in the end, Spectre managed to push it through, thanks in no small part to this guy on the screen right now. Rai Amazing, the Genji pick, I think, in 2021 is always going to be questioned a little bit, but he showed why, proved why he's on this hero right now. Genji, if you can get value with him, does have a lot of mid-fight strength. There's a lot of DPS that he can bring out with his shurikens, and the blade, even without any sort of boosting, can be deadly, as we saw. Yeah. So Spectre tying up the series on a Route 66. It looks like we might be in it for the long haul, Sid.
Oh, yeah. And, I'm not going to be one to complain having
Absolutely
some
not.
Good Overwatch matches. No one needs a snooze fest here at Open Division today. And, that was a great back and forth. It was pretty much almost deja vu watching both teams attack and defend, a lot of fast pushing happening in the beginning. And then just that stall out right there around that corner where, well, you're pretty much in the hole of all the high ground, able to bombard you from whenever you want to approach. So, great job from both of those teams, and it's pretty obvious Spectre's starting to kind of pick up on what Best Buds is doing and grow and adapt to some of the powerhouse plays they've been bringing out. I mean, Pinhead got another 82% participation, even more than last time, which can you ask for more from a support helping that much?
Yeah, I mean, Spectre absolutely pushing back after honestly a very solid first map coming out from Best Buds, showing that even though they might be the big stories coming into this, you should not be counting Spectre out either. They are here to play.
Yes. And, they are ranked a little bit more in the middle of the pack, but that is definitely not anything to uh, make assumptions off of on these teams. I mean, especially both these teams really showing that their rank and their current placement does not mean anything as they've been performing through the open division bracket. Obviously, we are tied up 1-1 now, and this is a best of three. So,
No,
we'll
it's
have to
it's
see.
first to three, I
Oh,
think.
first to three. I'm sorry. Yes, first to three. And it looks like we're going to be going to Kings Row next for our hybrid map, which, I mean, are we really surprised dividing? We always go to Kings Row like 90% of the time? 95?
Everyone, I have yet to meet someone who doesn't like King's Row, especially if Best Buds was the one choosing it. I doubt that any of them are being upset about this, especially looking about how Spectre has played so far in this matchup. They have played almost exclusively double shield comps with long range DPS, with the sort of
Precisely.
tight corners and narrow corridors of the King's Row streets. That kind of playstyle really has trouble finding success against that sort of gritty close range brawl that tends to be the preferred playstyle on King's Row, and the playstyle that Best Bud seems to want to play.
Yeah, and Kings Row definitely forces the fights to not only be closer but narrower in general. There's not nearly as many angles and wide areas that you can try and put that different peppering damage around. We saw come through from Spectre when they were on that second turn just after the first checkpoint. So, being kind of forced to squeeze in to King's Row could be really tough for Spectre. And, we talked about Best Buds looking comfortable on that brawl. So I don't know about you dividing, but I'm expecting to see more of that come through.
Yeah, I need to be seeing constant locking the Reinhardt and going head to head with Hattori here. That Ryan matchup is one of the most fun things to watch in Overwatch, in my opinion. We're likely probably going to be seeing someone going on the Mei in both sides. The Mei matchup ends up being absolutely huge. Who can get more value off of those all important Mei walls?
Right.
I'm also curious to see what Backstab Bud is going to do here. Noticeably, I've noticed that Best Buds have been just a teeny bit unorthodox when it comes to their DPS picks, and it's usually Backstab Bud who's going on the Reaper or the Torb or that character that could work in the context of the comp they're running, but isn't necessarily quite as effective or as widely used as someone like a McCree or a May. Are they going to go more traditional here, or are they going to keep on running that just good old Best Bud strategy here? Same for Spectre as well, because honestly, we
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen them run a close range brawl pretty much all game so far.
Yeah, I agree there. And I am going to be pretty curious to see if they do have that, different type of team comp in their arsenal and how comfortable they are on it. Best Buds, they do have some Reaper mains on their team, and I believe I guess they would be specialists. because I am definitely far from a DPS specialist of any kind. But, I think that making sure that they also are on picks that they're comfortable with and think that they can perform well on is important. But not sure about all the Torbjorn we saw coming through some of those times.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Backstab Bud probably likes his Torb, and I've always been one to say run what you're comfortable with, but it's tough to justify it, especially when you're probably not getting a ton out of the Torb turret, and when it comes to just straight up damage, there are other heroes that do it better and way more consistently than
And
Torbjorn
faster.
does. But we are now heading into our third map of King's Row, going to break the tie that both these teams have had, hopefully. As we move into, it's going to be Best Buds on the attack first, and look at this. Oh, man. Spectre has decided, you know what? We don't care about what's normal here. We like this comp, and we're going to run it win or lose till the very end. It's the exact same thing as they had on Root, Sid.
Yeah. And, you could say that they're, normal. Other words for normal, mundane, routine, standard. And I gotta say, I love that Overwatch opens the door for unorthodox gameplay. Oh, maybe not as much as I thought we were going to get, though. Looks like a little bit of a tease coming through from Best Buds. That's fine, all good here. They're gonna roll out with the Reaper and Hanzo this time. Sloth gonna have a lot of that long range damage that we were, haven't quite seen a lot of yet. Does manage to get a little clip done there onto Conan, but we'll have to see what kills can be resulted. Oh, and Rymazing reflects that arrow straight back at Sloth right there. It's a couple exchanges back and forth, but the Best Buds are starting to pull ahead. Backstab Buds was finding so much value on this Reaper. It looks like that was a good decision to bring out here on the first point of King's Row.
Yeah, going through the hotel there for Best Buds, they end up pushing through the hotel and once again forcing a close range fight, which is honestly, with the Reaper, with the Hanzo, they love being up close. The Ashe, not as much on the side of Spectre. And this is what we said at the beginning. We said that, on a map like King's Row, long-range comps tend to struggle. As we see here, Spectre are kind of forced to huddle up on this high ground here and try and get value that way. But that's just free point push coming out from Best Buds.
Well, and once, like I mentioned, they have been forced to fight very narrow. It's literally one alleyway that you need to be shooting up right here, and being able to see and put the damage and pressure onto your target. The pressure, though, is coming in from Spectre. The aggression coming out from Constant. Really nice right there. And the grab is what is going to turn the tide right there. Best Buds now wanting to engage and turn this in their favor. The Flux does come through, trying to find some damage. Kai goes down, but the DPS are trying to make the magic happen here. Oh, Backstab manages to TP and get some clips here done, but the sound barrier is what is going to save him. Red X absolutely clutching it out for his team and allowing them to continue pushing forward. Those dragons are tearing through that right hallway, and it is not something you want to be stuck in a Reinhardt with.
I mean, that was a gutsy play from Red X there. It was pretty much just Backstab Bud on the point at that time. But Red X says, don't worry, man, I got you. Uses the beat, and the rest of the team that has respawned surges through. And as they pick off Koan, Backstab Buds are now looking to finish off point B in what is an extremely fast time.
I don't think anyone caught that shatter. I didn't see any stun marks come up, but might have missed it. Picks already came through and dividing. Because of them, it didn't even give Spectre a chance to contest that second point.
Beautiful play coming out from Best Buds right now. They now have 5 minutes going into the third point. That is a massive time bank, Sid. and they have ultimates as well. Both DPS ults are going to be coming up soon, and Orion is going to have the Amp Matrix as well, which is going to make Sloth even more deadly. However, the Bob Blade combo from Spectre is on its way.
Oh, and that that immortality field from Cohen to reinforce everyone on his team through the Amp Matrix. Very nice play there. No one was scared of dying in that corner.
Yeah, seems like Best Buds kind of overstayed their welcome a little bit in the spawn doors of Spectre. But on the bright side, they did not use any ultimates there, which means they have so much to work for. Now Kai's about to have the
oh, and here's the flux being opened up here for Spectre, and it gets a kill onto Hattori. Everyone is going down, but at what cost? There were quite a few, or what is it? Oh, only the flux was used, so definitely some great ult economy coming in.
Yeah, but the longer this goes, the more the ult economy shifts in favor of Best Buds. They're going to have 4 ultimates coming up into this next fight, 5 if Red X has a very good fight as well, and all that Spectre really has is the Blade.
And there it is, the Blade. He's caught in the grab with the Blade. The immortality field does save him for a moment, but with all the DPS ultimates coming out to play, it was not going to be anyone's chance of survival. The point's going to roll forward, dividing, and Spectre better hurry.
Yeah, lots of ultimates, though, came out from Best Buds there, so it's a lot more safe for Spectre to try and recontest.
Constant took a lot of damage trying to walk out that initial door there. Rymazing trying to put that pressure on the heels, but no one contested. And that's it. Best Buds caps the 3rd point with 3:15 left on the clock.
That was just incredible play coming out from Best Buds, and honestly, I would call it a comp diff. I think that the composition that Spectre continues to try and push here just isn't very good for King's Row. It's the sort of bruiser style of play that Best Buds are playing right now that always reigns supreme on this map, because when it comes to the kind of sniper play, the kind of static passive gameplay, it's so difficult for that to get long-term value when there just isn't that much space to work with. And as you can see, it seems that Spectre agrees with that assessment, as for the first time this game, I think, we are seeing a brawl composition coming out from Spectre.
They're still in the defensive zone, though, so you never know what last-minute changes they may want to pull out. I am excited, though, if they do continue to hold this comp. I mentioned how narrow King's Row was, and man, it does feel like they are feeling it encroaching around them, especially during that streets phase. So hopefully they've got a bit of a, different arsenal in their belt with Rymazing on this Widow.
Yeah, we'll see if Rymazing get anything figured out. Sloth wasn't expecting it, but the headshot was not there, so gets away probably with a little, sweating just a little bit here, as now Rymazing swaps over to the Sim, and the attack truly begins.
Oh, if I was his coach, I would be yelling at him, be careful! You gotta watch out for that! And holy smokes, that shield is getting shredded. Sloth just pumped in all those storm arrows, and now Spectre has to give a little bit of space here. Let it recharge. Rain is the first person to go down, and now the pin coming in from behind. He does get taken out of it, and a couple exchanges coming through for Spectre. That's it. The tide has been turned, and they're gonna be able to push Best Buds off the point. Can Best Buds regroup a bit? Ooh, with Red X going down, I don't think so.
Look at all that damage coming out from Rymazing there. Already has the Sim ult online coming up for this next fight. Showing, I mean, you look at the DPS ult charges in response. He doubles everyone else on the field right now. It just shows exactly how much work that Symmetra can get done as long as you protect her and you have that beam charged up.
Yeah, and Rain getting another pick onto Sloth, so a little bit of struggle coming through for him on that long-range duel. The Immortality Field is going to keep Spectre in this fight, absolutely clutching it right there behind the shield. The shatter into the Symmetra's shield right there in the face of him. Can't quite find any of the kills, and Best Buds seem to just be going down right here through the archway.
It seemed like Hattori was trying to time the shatter to be exactly when the wall was going to go down. Was just a little bit too early, and that's super unfortunate because now you don't have that to try and push in to this point B, the end of this point B push. I mean, we've got 4 ultimates online, probably 5 once LPZ gets his online coming up from Spectre. They're matching Best Bud's place right now.
Oh, and Hattori going down early. No one is there to block. The shatter coming through from Constant, and he has just free reign to move forward and cleave everyone out of his way.
And now with 5 minutes and 40 seconds coming into point C for Spectre, they are in fact faster than Best Buds was up to this point. And they still have the bomb and the beat to work with as they continue to push through, but that Grab Dragons coming out from Sloth and Kai, the tried and true combo is online for Best Buds.
Charge into the back line to try and follow up that bomb. The Dragons are tearing through everyone on Spectre right now as Best Buds are able to finally hold their footing defensively here.
They finally managed to do it, and all it took was the Grab Dragons, which is big for Best Buds because now all 4 of their other ultimates are up. And all that's really on the other side is going to be the Symmetra Wall and the Ant Matrix from Koan. So the ult economy is very much to their advantage at the moment, as now Spectre gets to push through.
That was a shatter straight into the shield. Doesn't shield break anything there, my friend, as now the Symmetra Wall is going to be up for Spectre. It's going to give them that chance to dance around it and advance forward. Look how much space they've been able to take because of it. The Death Blossom is stunned out of it. It's a good thing he had that sound barrier to keep himself alive because he would have been toast without it. Red X clutching it for his teammate right there.
Yeah, beautiful beat coming out from Red X to keep his team alive. They were in trouble there for a second. Spectre did an incredible job of playing around their sim wall, putting so much pressure on Best Buds, but they managed to hold here. 4 minutes now on the clock, but Best Buds currently with only the high noon to their name.
And Rain using their own high noon in response straight through that Ant Matrix. Great communication and timing. Nobody sees Reaper in the background pumping in the damage, and Koan goes down. That's a support out of the picture. Rymazing does avenge him, but not without having lost that push.
The push is now lost, and the time bank is just about halved for Spectre. At this point, they are guaranteed a lesser time bank than Best Buds if they finish this map. Constance and Hattori are both going to have their shatters going into this fight. I imagine that's going to be crucial in this next engagement.
All right, they did a great job using the wall this last time. Shatter comes through. 3 are found in response. Can Best Buds get the follow-up? It's going to be even harder now that Koan goes ahead, gives that sound barrier, giving everyone the extra reinforcements. Kai's bomb is going to take everyone off the board, and that is going to give Best Buds another defensive hold here right at the end of King's Row.
Yes, and now things are getting a little bit scary for... Oh, backstep Bud. Okay, you know, just playing with us there a little bit. Had the TP ready. Yeah, things are getting scary now with every lost fight for Spectre. The time bank becomes even more and more uneven, which would make things even harder. And, that is absolutely not what you want to see. Hattori with a stray fire strike, picking off Koan, is going to delay this fight by another 15 seconds. And Rymazing going off the map. That's going to delay it by another 15 seconds as they wait to have all 6 ready.
I know Red X got the little boop on that to just send him over, but it did look like he wraithed and just floated gracefully down into that little zone right there. Oh, Immortality Field and Sound Barrier for Best Buds thrown out, and now they're trying to get that damage done. Both Ant Matrixes just shooting away across each other, and look at the sidestepping from both of them. Couldn't see anyone's view or see any enemies through either of their views, and now they're just trying to aggress forward. Shatter into the shield once again coming through. The Death Blossom is going to be enough from Backstabbed. There it is, another hold coming through, and 125 left on the clock.
I mean, this is just brutal for Spectre at this point. They had almost 6 minutes of time going into point C. It's
Yeah.
almost expected that you are able to finish the map when you have that much time. There's so much time to build up ult banks. There's so much time to just have a stray shot, a stray fire strike come through and give you the advantage, and it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, oh, High Noon now. Rain's response for his own High Noon. Immortality Field thrown deep in for Spectre there, letting them get aggressive. Amazing capitalizes on it and gets the 2K there from his Death Blossom. Now Spectre has some momentum, but it's been stopped. Best Buds taking them down, and that is going to be another hold with only one fight left for Spectre to try to regroup and come back.
This is last fight territory now for Spectre. I have to give a shout out to the supports here. Orion and Redix are pulling this team out of some extremely sticky situations now. Both support ultimates coming up for Spectre. That's going to be what they have to try and aggress and push this card across the finish line. It's going to be an overtime if it happens at all, Sid.
10 seconds remaining and counting. Here we go. This is the engagement Spectre needs to win. Gohan has to use the Immortality Field on himself, and it is taken down in the back. Backstab removes the big healer for Spectre and goes ahead and throws his Death Blossom, taking down Rain in the process. Now Best Buds are trying to hold strong, and they are taking down Spectre one after another, and they have taken King's Row.
Wow, Best Buds taking Spectre to King's Row and absolutely showing why they wanted it. In the end, I mean, it was looking scary for a little bit, but once Best Buds were able to stabilize on point C, it was all over. They showed that they had the superior point presence, the superior bruiser, brawler playstyle, and yeah, Best Buds now putting themselves up into match point here in this winners round 4 matchup, Sid.
Yeah, and with match point here on the board, it's going to be on Spectre to either make or break it for this next map. We will be going to our Assault map, which we don't know which one's been chosen yet, and it could play into Spectre's favor considerably better for that, longer range style of play they're comfortable with. It was very apparent on King's Row that this is Best Bud's jam, in my opinion. They looked strong, and although both teams had so much time at the end and really got a lot of momentum during that middle part, uh, the defense coming through and the cleanup of it looked like focus fire and kills coming through seemed to really evolve right there at the end and shine through strong.
Absolutely. Best Buds taking King's Row for the power of family and have brought themselves up to match point. A spot in the next round of winners bracket on the line. Will Best Buds be able to finish it out, or will Spectre be able to bring us to a map 5? Our Assault map is coming up after this quick break, so don't go anywhere.
Hey folks, welcome back. We are here with the North American Open Division Cup, our round 4 matchup of Best Buds versus Spectre. And right now, we are 1-2 in favor of Best Buds. Dividing, this is our best to 3 match. And if Spectre doesn't want to go home right now, they are going to have to leave it all here on this assault map, which looks like we're going to be going to Volskaya Industries.
Volskaya Industries is in fact what they have put up on the custom game right now. This is of course Spectre's choice as a loser of the last match, which makes a lot of sense. I think Volskaya is a map where you can run all kinds of things. Obviously on defense, you can run, there's a lot of double shield that gets run. There's a lot of double bubble that gets run on offense. I think Spectre overall just wants to take things away from sort of a Rhine brawl up close situation, because I think with King's Row Best Buds proved that they are likely the superior when it comes to that mirror matchup. Spectre wants to keep things away from that as much as possible, so going to Volskaya, which has a lot of high grounds both on point A and point B to take advantage of, and they have just swapped to Hanamura, so I'm going to take back everything that I just said. Um,
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised they picked that map.
yeah, this actually, because Hanamura actually, I mean, double shield is still viable here, but so is Brawl. Brawl is also still a very viable choice coming out into Hanamura. A bit less so, I think, than Volskaya.
Yeah.
Might just be a comfort choice coming out from Spectre here. Not too
Hmm.
sure. As we are loading into the game now, though, seems like Hanamura it will be.
I
As
was a little worried about Spectre, actually on Volskaya, right? Because Volskaya has all these there's so many pathing routes for Volskaya, and we've seen Spectre kind of take a little bit longer to get set up for their plays. And for Assault, if you take way too long to get set up, your time bank runs out fast. And I feel like in Assault in particular, when you do try and run those long setups, it gets away from you a little bit more than some of the escort or payload styles. And I think that this map here will definitely present its own routing pathing, but not nearly as, super wide on the outskirts like Volskaya.
Yep, I'm not sure if we had gone into game view mode yet, but we do have a DC on the side of Spectre right now that's preventing us from getting really into this game. Seems like they have reconnected now, though, so we should be getting back into it at any second. But yeah,
Yeah.
Hanamura, definitely pretty straightforward for the most part. On point A, you either go through main choke or try and TP to the point for the most part.
Right.
Point B, there's a couple different ways to go, but for the most part, it's that sort of top right corridor that teams end up brawling in.
Totally.
So,
Oh, and it looks like we did get someone
oh no,
disconnecting
it's the
again.
same
Sad
person who
day.
DC'd again.
Oh man. I mean, that's okay. We're working on it, getting them all fixed. Oh, he says he was hacked.
We haven't
Perfect
seen
coming
any
out.
Sombra yet. This is clearly a lie.
Right. Well, you mentioned actually the Symmetra, and how, typically they TP on that side and engage in the brawl fight there. We did see Symmetra played as well coming through from Spectre, and
He's
I
gone
thought their
again.
dance around oh man. I did think their dance around the wall was it looked very comfortable for them as far as avoiding the shatters, well, mostly avoiding the shatters. Eventually, Best Buds started getting some momentum and not throwing them into shields, but they were able to take a lot of space just off of those sim walls.
Yeah, honestly, the sim walls from I think it was Ryan Mazing who was playing the Symmetra on the last King's Row map. Uh, honestly, were expertly placed, splitting the point up into scenarios where Spectre could easily take advantage of them. And
Having lead.
I'd be very interested to see if we could potentially be seeing Symmetra again. I mean, it's very much a pocket pick. on Hanamura. Teams like to just try and bypass that main choke by teleporting straight onto the point.
Yeah.
Of course, this is just speculation at this point, but I would love to see it coming out of Spectre. Though, based on what I've seen so far, I wouldn't be shocked if they continue to go with the sort of Orisa comps.
Yeah, I
Looks
agree with you
like
there.
looks like we have all 12 players in the lobby finally, so we should be getting into it.
I'm still gonna hold my breath until, till like I'm gonna give it another like 45 seconds. Oh.
But now we actually have heroes to talk about, so that's good.
Ooh.
As on the defense is going to be Best Buds coming up first, and look at that. I mean, we're going to be seeing the same sort of brawl composition coming out, though interestingly, Sloth is currently showing the Echo. On point A, of course, the open skies of Hanamura point A. There is a lot of room for an Echo to work, and he just swapped this to Junkrat. So once again, I have been tricked, I have been duped, I have been absolutely bamboozled. So Sloth swaps over to the Junkrat, which along with the Reaper is going to just be insane amounts of frontline spam damage that Constant and LPZ are going to have to deal with.
Yeah, that is going to be tough to just push through the gates. And, we do have Spectre here on the red team aggressing forward into Best Buds. Oh, good block of the Dynamite as well. Rain has been getting a lot of value, but Red X is the first person to go down to Rain, getting that value just like I talked about. Are they going to see this Junkrat throwing damage into them here from this side room? A lot of people on Best Buds are low. They have to give a little bit of space and heal up, and there it is. A pick coming through as they try to push through this choke, but oh man. Spectre is aggressing forward and trying to get on this point. Red X trying to do his best and dodge and weave and keep people healed up and maybe lure someone from a boop, but it's just him and Backstab Bud. We've seen them turn this before dividing, but it is going to have to be crazy, and this time he doesn't have the sound barrier to reinforce him. Orion's already gone down, and that's just going to be some stalling coming through from Best Buds here on this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much pressure on Hattori in this sort of comp to sort of just weather the storm that is this focus fire damage coming out from Spectre, and which is a little bit too much that time. The comp coming out from Spectre is slower, but it is very, very powerful and very sturdy as well with the Vapid Break heals. As now we push into point B, and there's so many ultimates coming out from Spectre. The snowball potential is real.
Yeah, and they've already thrown 2 of them out with Bob and Ant Matrix. Sloth, a big damage dealer for Best Buds, taken out of the picture, so Backstab is going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders to try and get those kills. The charge from downtown is good, but there's not going to be enough pressure coming through from Best Buds to be able to stay on the point. I can't believe Sloth dodged that there at the last moment, and that was a very fast cap coming through.
5 minutes, 2-1 fights for Spectre, and putting themselves back on the right track after King's Row, I would say. Beautiful play from Rain, I gotta say. I think just kind of got set up on the high ground, and there was really no one on Best Buds who could deal with him. Got something like 3 or 4 kills in that last fight, and now, oh man, so much pressure now on Best Buds to try and respond.
That is a lot of pressure, and dividing that is a lot of time to have to try and withstand that pressure. Obviously with our assault maps, we have seen full holds come through on the first point, but from the way I've seen both of these teams throughout the series, they're very evenly matched, and it's not going to be just we're able to easily hold and stop you from coming through. It's going to be a scrappy, and it's going to have to be an aggressive fight too.
It's going to have to be super aggressive. Now, this brawl comp that Best Buds is sticking with does have a bit more staying power on the defense, because they can use that Lucio speed boost to really aggress and close the distance on this double shield comp of Spectre. Really just try and run them over would have to be the play. Unless, of course, Sloth stays on this Symmetra, in which case, who knows what they're about to pull out here.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before, Spectre is down by 1 point right now. It is match point for Best Buds, and they have to win this map if they want to stay in the Open Division Cup this season. They're doing their best here to mitigate all the damage, and well, I like this rotation coming through from Best Buds all the way around to the high ground. They go for the engagement. There it is. Can Spectre withstand it? They're getting pushed back. They managed to take down the TP, but there are a lot of heals, and I can see the Brig Inspire up the wazoo coming through from Pinhead. So much reinforcements for his team, and there it is. A kill coming through onto LPZ to open up the fight. Best Buds getting aggressive, and there it is, able to take this first point.
Yeah, just like I said, Best Buds pushed.
Stagger.
Yeah, big stagger coming out from Cohen. Now, of course, he's going to be coming back very quickly. But you know who else is coming very quickly? Best Buds. Sloth is already at the point. They're going to try, if honestly, they could easily beat the time of Spectre here.
Oh my gosh, that would be insane. It's not gonna happen though. With those 2 kills coming through already from Spectre, they're stopping Best Buds in their tracks.
Well, it was a valiant effort coming out from Best Buds, but yes,
Yeah.
with that fight loss, it will seem like the superior time bank will go to Spectre here. As Sloth gotta be a little bit more careful there, as Amazing is just stalking up at the top, and he has the blade ready. Could be absolutely massive for this team coming into this next engagement.
Got a lot of concern for Best Buds because Rain is on this high ground across the way, free firing. They're gonna have a flux come through, and it's gonna raise everyone up. Sound Barrier is gonna try to keep them in this fight, but it's not enough. Amazing's blade and everyone else just puts the damage in and defends and holds strong.
Oh, now we see Kai with the infamous Diva Stagger here, just trying to get himself off the edge, and doesn't manage to do it before Pinhead whip shots him out. So that is going to do it for that fight, as of course the Gravitic Flux to Dragon Blade combo from Spectre came up huge. However, now there is opportunity here once again for Best Buds. Tori and Kai have both their ultimates available.
Yeah, and Rain hasn't used his Bob yet. He had a last fight, still held on to it, and I mean, I can see why dividing. He doesn't need it yet. He's free firing from high ground with no pressure.
This is the same thing that happened in Route 66, Sid.
Oh, yeah.
Spectre are just set up here on the high ground without a care in the world, and Best Buds just can't really get anything done before they take so much poke damage that they've essentially already lost the fight. Even with the ult advantages they have, it is so difficult for them to take advantage of it.
There it is, the bomb thrown into the side does just take down the Immortality field as Death Blossom is popped. Now Best Buds are starting to get the kills in their favor, and the traction is there. Now can they handle the trickling coming through from Spectre? There it is, 1 tick in the bag. Now Spectre has to run very fast to get back on. They throw Bob. The stun and shatter prevent him from being able to go all the way on the point, and that is gonna tie us up here for the second round.
2 minutes to about 3 minutes and 30 seconds coming out as we go into extra rounds on a Hanamura. Finally, it seems like for the first time in a while, Best Buds were able to break through the double shield high ground hold of Spectre. And that has to make it a little bit scary because that has been the bread and butter of Spectre so far. And the fact that it looks like Best Buds might be figuring out how to deal with it, makes their prospects for the rest of this series a little bit scarier. Now, of course, as the team with the lesser time bank, it is going to be Best Buds on the attack first once again. An adjustment here, though. Amazing currently showing the Echo, perhaps assuming that we're going to be seeing this Reaper Symmetra DPS coming out from Best Buds. Neither of those DPS are super good at dealing with flying enemies.
Yeah, and they do have Orion on the BAP, and we've all made the BAP DPS jokes, and his primary fire, similar to the battle rifle, is nothing to scoff at, but it's not something you want him shooting at. And not something you necessarily need his full attention on at either. Obviously, they have to push through this choke, and, well, it's going to be make or break it time. Spectre needs to win this map, and Best Buds wants to just end the series right here and close out the win for themselves. They got to push forward, and there it is. Drop down here behind the point using that TP, and well, now they're on. They've got 1 tick already in the bag, and Spectre isn't moving forward yet to contest. Finally, someone is on the point, but can they handle all the damage coming through? Backstab is just railing them from the side around this bell, throwing so much damage in. Is that Reaper? But Rymazing is gonna be the one coming up big, and with 2 ticks on the board, Best Buds going to have to regroup for another push.
Yeah, half the time gone now for Best Buds. They can only really afford 1 more fight like that. However, with 2 ticks gained for basically free, just by standing and existing on the point, now Spectre is forced to play a little bit more proactively, and that's not really very conducive to what their comp wants.
Oh yeah, there it is. Ant Matrix popped coming through from Spectre, and Best Buds just goes ahead and dodges it. Sidesteps out of the way, because I'm sure we all know from personal experience, no one wants to be clipped by anything through the Ant Matrix. We're grouped up here, trying to cross the bridge and just mitigate some of that onslaught of damage from Spectre, and there, the engagement is going to be slowed down by the flux coming through from LPZ. Sloth gets the first pick onto Rymazing, and we'll have to see if he can continue the traction for Best Buds. He's got another one here, and Hattori is just brawling right in the middle, charges straight into the Orisa that's fortified, but the shatter comes through, doesn't have too much, but it's going to be more about the follow-up, and if Best Buds can mitigate all the people trickling on, there it is. They're going to cap this point in the OT time and have just 1 chance to really push forward here against Spectre.
What a beautiful play coming out from Sloth. Rymazing was causing this team so much trouble. Just pushing in the sticky bombs and the primary fires, but the swap onto the McCree ended up being absolutely critical. And he gets him again! Sloth is opening things up for the team. He gets Pinhead as well!
Holy smokes! Absolutely clutch there for his team. Best Buds now up by 2. The OT bar is going to make spawn times even longer for Spectre. Backstab has the Death Blossom. Is he going to need to use it to continue to hold this point here? He's waiting for the right chance. Of course, right on Pinhead is absolutely the time to do it. Everyone's getting taken down left and right from Spectre as they're trying to trickle in, and that's going to be a 4th point capture for Best Buds.
What a play coming out from Sloth, swapping onto McCree and just clicking ahead when his team needed it most. Now the pressure shifts back onto Spectre. They had the advantage, but now they have to do it again, whereas Best Buds seem to have been starting to figure out how this team plays and how to counter them, Sid. And of course, their winners bracket lives are on the line here right now. If Best Buds are able to hold this off, they will be moving on to the next round.
Everybody's got their eyes on both the prize and that potential for a contenders trials spot for the champions of the tournament. And
look at this. Are we going to be seeing the For Mercy coming out from Sloth and Red X? It looks like we are. They're coming out with it. Look at this. With the game point in sight, Best Buds are never going to be playing what's safe. Backstab Bud is on that signature torb, and we are seeing the For Mercy coming out from Sloth and Red X. They're going to have to watch out for Rain on the Ash, but oh man, this is a gutsy play coming out from Best Buds.
Yeah, they've got 320 to defend here on this first point, and if they can hold strong on the first point, they could they could win this map. With Sloth going down early, though, that is so much damage out of the equation for Best Buds. They already have to give up and give ground there. Red X is going to have to heal up his own support. Friend, support your supports, everybody. It's going to be tough with Sloth still flying back in the process, and there it is. Spectre getting the kills, and they're just going to move forward and take that point.
Yeah, Again, a gutsy play coming out from Best Buds, but it doesn't really end up working out for them. Sloth gets focused down pretty much instantly, and
Yeah.
now it's going to be forced to swap off of it as we turn our attention back over to point B. Of course, if Best Buds can hold this for 3 minutes, they could still very easily win this map. However, they do still have to hold for 3 minutes, and if this can push through, if Spectre can push this through quickly, they could very easily find themselves in a lose or draw scenario.
There's going to be a lot of eyes on, Rain to take down Sloth and that pharmacy threat, or for Sloth to try to remove that threat from themselves and have free reign and just free fire into Spectre as they try to push forward. They're in this small hallway here, and the damage is done. They can't escape the rockets. They've pretty much funneled themselves for Sloth, and it is easy shooting after that.
I mean, there's just no way that Sloth staying on the Pharah here with these closed ceilings is crazy, but now he has this sort of off angle you see he's using to kind of get onto that high ground and fire rockets onto Spectre as they try and push up this right hallway, and he's finding so much value. I think got something like 70% of his Pharah ultimate in that one fight. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. The spam damage from Best Buds there was huge.
Gonna be tough now with Spectre moving around onto the bridge area. They've been hit with the flux, and this immortality field just stalls out their deaths for a moment, but Best Buds holding strong, and now there's only 125 left on the clock dividing, and these staggers are gonna be devastating.
They are going to be devastating. The hammer kill from Backstab Bud, we love to see it. Yeah, but the silver lining here coming out from Spectre is they have spent a lot of time trying to build up these ultimates. They're going to have pretty much all 6, assuming Cohen doesn't die early into this fight. However, there's a lot of ultimates coming out from Best Buds as well. This next fight is going to be the one, I think, that decides if this game is over just now or if we're going on to another round of extra innings.
It's going to be a flashy one. All of the ultimates are online. He almost gets the accretion, but holy smokes, that combination of flux to damage coming through from Spectre was too much for Best Buds to handle, and that was a clean, quick cap of the second point.
And now we head over to another one. Sid, it is one of those Hanamura games where seems like round 3. At this point, I want to see at least 12 points total. Come on, I know these guys can do it. Let's go to round 4.
Hey, we're gonna start getting into MMA rules where, if you go all I think 21 rounds, then we just go to points for whoever wins, which, obviously not the way it's graded here. But do we know what the world or what the record is for most rounds in an assault map?
It's definitely more than 4-4. I'll say that for sure. But I'm honestly not sure.
Well, when they used to have the time bank, where the time bank didn't drop down to the 2 minutes when it was over, definitely when you were racking up fat's amount of time banks there. But now it's a little bit better. But man, obviously Spectre does not want to be going out of this tournament dividing. They're giving it everything they've got, and I can clearly see that they're much more comfortable in this open map area where they've got the sight lines and it feels like they're really able to flex into what they're comfortable with and their roles a lot better.
Mm-hmm. All right, we do have another pause up on the field. It hasn't been super clear as to what is going on. All the players are currently still in the lobby. But of course, we are once again going to be seeing, once we get back in, we're going to be seeing Best Buds on the attack first once again. They have a minute on the clock and about a minute 30 on the clock for
Spectre.
For Spectre, yep.
Yeah. 30 seconds is it's a lot of time.
It's basically another fight.
It could, and it really depends on what the teams want to use or want to do with that time, right? You could use that extra time to stage your fight and go a little bit longer of a route since you do have a little more time in your favor. But of course, that does risk the chances of you not having as many chances to push and have that fight engagement. And I think that's definitely a tough situation to be in for these players to try and, decide what's actually going to bring value and how are we going to be able to be successful.
We are heading back into the game now, and once again, slight adjustments coming up from both teams. Since they're coming out of spawn right now, I'll go ahead and say this first. Amazing swapping onto the Reaper now, a character we have not seen him play yet. Seems like they're going to be playing a little bit into Best Bud's game plan, which is to be a little bit more in your face, a little more close range damage. Meanwhile, Kai on the other side currently showing the Sigma, a little bit less peel coming out compared to, say, a Diva, but this comp is a bit more sturdy and does put 2 shields in the face of Rain to try and shoot through.
Yeah, and Rain has been popping off quite considerably. We've seen that we've seen how deadly he is when he can just free fire from across the way with no one looking at him. Once again, we've seen Best Buds do this rotation. They don't see Amazing at the bottom. They did! Caught him with the flashbang, forces him to Wraith away, and, well, a little bit with his tail between his legs. Sigma's been caught out on this side here and is getting tag teamed by a couple of people from Best Buds, but Amazing comes to back him up, saving his friend and able to take down another person from Best Buds. Hattori's trying to keep this fight alive, but all in all, Spectre taking the first point here soon. Or I'm sorry, Spectre holding strong here on this first point. 4 seconds left, and they just have to try and touch. Is anyone going to be able to? Oh, right there at the end, OT bar is triggered, and we can see Sloth on this Tracer biding their time, waiting for that opportune moment, and trying to just give their team a chance to get back into this fight. Kai goes down there, and now the shatter from behind. Can Sloth follow up? No, not enough. Everyone keeps getting melted one after another as they are trickling in. The Death Blossom's going to seal the deal, and that is a full first point hold for the first time we've seen on Hanamura.
And that seals it, at least part of it. We are going to be seeing the end of this endless Hanamura map in this next 1 minute and 34-second attack from Spectre. The question is, though, can they take 1/3 of point A and around 2 fights to take ourselves to a decisive map 3, or we'll be seeing a classic case of Hanamura. Did I say map 3? I think I said map 5. I think it's at map 5.
Yeah.
Numbers kind of end up blurring together sometimes.
I've heard it both ways.
So it would be a decisive map 5, in which case it is definitely going to end after that, or are we going to be having a draw, sticking to this 2-1 matchup, and it's going to be 2 straight potential control maps to finish off a potential 6-map series. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. It seems like both teams are going to be going back to what they know best in this scenario, Sid. The brawl with the Reaper and McCree coming out from Best Buds, and the double shield with Genji and Ashe from Spectre. A true clash of styles that is going to end up deciding the fate of Hanamura.
Who is going to go and move on to round 5, and who will be knocked over to the losers bracket? They're looking to make a difference and make a stand here. Spectre going to push forward, and they just need that one tick to win this game and tie up the series against Best Buds. Best Buds, like you said, looking comfortable on that aggressive brawl style with the Reaper again. The splash comes through onto Hattori, but the follow-up isn't quite there, and he's got the resources to keep himself alive. I love how this is being, danced around the edge. Everyone's crispy once again from Ryan's Dynamite. That has been a very consistent thing that has happened through the offense of Spectre, and now they're trying to push forward. He runs in front of the shield to shatter everyone past it and continue to try to move forward, but Amazing has denied all of that. He says not today and cut through everyone. Wow, his dash resets.
I think that was 5 kills from Amazing in that final fight. And it is going to be Spectre who finally end up taking Hanamura and forcing a decisive map 5 to find the winner of this match. It's coming down to the wire, Sid.
Oh yeah. And look at this play in the I mean, Amazing really holding up to that amazing element of his name dividing.
Yeah, the Genji, whenever he brings it out, I mean, you don't see Genji too much in this era of Overwatch, but look at that, 49 elim, 75% kill participation coming out from Amazing there.
And I gotta say, as someone who's a support player, I have a lot of respect for a Genji that doesn't need a nano every time to get amazing value out of his ultimate or to do whatever. He is clearly showing every Genji out there who thinks they need a nano to be successful with their blade that that's not the case. And those raw fundamentals are just crushing when he's bringing out that Genji.
And this, of course, brings up the map 5. It all is going to come down to this, as the teams currently are debating on what the last map is going to be, what is going to be the decider for what has been a real barn burner of a match so far. Honestly, both teams have had moments of brilliance and moments where they look to be outplayed. It's going to come down to this.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth between the two, and we've seen some very visible growth and adaptations around the strategies that they've been bringing to the table. Spectre able to handle some of that brawl a little bit better that Best Buds was throwing in their face, and Best Buds also on the flip side able to handle that longer range playstyle Spectre was bringing to the table. Dividing, I feel like maps have been a really big factor in who is performing or doing well during the match. And I want to know, what are your thoughts around that, and moving into a control map on that.
Yeah, it looks like this last map is going to be Lijiang. And honestly, if we're going by the fact that Best Buds Best Buds likes to play more in-your-face, brawl-style compositions. Spectre likes to play a little slower, long-range double shield compositions. We get into this interesting situation with Lijiang, where you look at something like Control Center, which has, of course, the shorter corridors, the closed-off ceilings, that definitely lends itself better to Best Buds' style of gameplay. But then really you have something like Gardens, which is a lot more open and has longer sight lines, and that kind of lends itself a little bit more to Spectre. And then you come to Night Market, where honestly either of them could end up being viable. So we have found ourselves in a very interesting situation. I think if it comes up, but based on what I've seen so far, I think that Night Market is going to be the key submap here. But first, we are going to be seeing Mecha Base, which means, of course, begrudgingly, I think Spectre is going to be running a brawl setup here.
Yeah, we've seen them do a little bit of Symmetra work, and actually Amazing is very well, we've seen him perform strongly on all the characters he's brought to the table today, but the shield wall placement from him was so beneficial for his team.
Absolutely, as of course both teams use Sims to get themselves out, but Amazing's going to swap to a Reaper while Swap stays on the Sim.
We're over here in the White Room, and there's the exchange going down, a tank for a support, but Spectre's lost their second support. Dividing, they're not going to have the sustainability to make it through this fight, and that's going to give Best Buds the first control of the points. Oh, I thought he was going off the edge.
Besides, you know what, he's going to take himself off the edge. Yeah, Amazing was just a little bit later to the fight than everyone else on this Reaper, and that really allowed Best Buds to push forward and gain the necessary space for them to come out on top in that first fight. Amazing is going to swap over to his own Symmetra now, but the ultimate charge is way in Slop's favor.
Yeah, Spectre TPs straight onto the point, giving them way more angles and open area to try to aggress forward. The pin from Hattori is good onto LPZ. He ends up going down, but the damage has been done to Spectre. And now, Best Buds holding strong once again.
Both Junkrats are going to be coming up on their Riptires now in this next fight. Of course, Riptire can be an absolutely devastating ultimate. Orion and Koan have got to be on guard with their immortality fields coming up into this one.
And if you're lucky, someone will shoot the tire before it can reach you. We can see they're moving around all around the point in different directions. One kills Backstab while he's going for his own tire, and the other one takes down Rymazing. That's going to be tough, but the Shatter comes through. Nothing much to capitalize after that. They've lost a lot of damage, and once again, Best Buds cleaning up Spectre.
Now this is getting really scary for Spectre here. 72% and counting. This is most likely last fight now for Spectre to try and take it. And we see a lot of swaps. Rain's going to be going on to the Mei now, trading off damage for the utility of that Mei wall. I sure hope that they can get the value that they're looking for out of it, as well as their two support ultimates.
Another Shatter straight into the shield. These Reinhardts have been tracking each other's ultimates very diligently, and now Spectre is aggressing forward here. It's last fight territory, and they want to take the point, and they are. They're moving forward, getting the kill onto Hattori, but the rest of Best Buds have been reinforced by the sound barrier. They're trying to do their best to stall out and dance around the wall, mitigating some of that damage. They've committed the Amp Matrix on top of it, and they've decided they want to make this the last fight here on this map for themselves. It's just Hattori, and now it's just Backstab, and that is going to be Spectre able to flip the point here at the last second dividing.
The last second. It took pretty much everything that they had at the moment, but they do manage to keep themselves in this round, but it is going to take a perfect defense now from them. 99-0 as now Best Buds is going to move forward their next fight. Oh no, but Hattori has been completely walled off.
Oh, and Backstab is actually going to be the first person to take out Rain. Rymazing goes with the Death Blossom, and there are the kills for Spectre. This time, they were aggressive, took the fight to Best Buds, and it was successful.
Beautiful wall from Rain. Hattori was completely separated from the rest of his team, and they had to use so many resources to try and bail him out that when the Death Blossom came out from Rymazing, there was nothing left to deal with it. Now, Kai is going to have the Gravitic Flux and the Riptire from Backstab Buds. Is looking for something big.
Fire does manage to find the Immortality Field, put a little damage chipped in, but Sloth is charged up, dancing around his wall and throwing the damage into Spectre. Best Buds are cleaving forward, clearing out the point, and now they're going to flip it back. Spectre's not going to be able to come back and touch other than Pinhead here, and it is short-lived dividing as Best Buds go ahead and take this first round.
The more brawl-heavy round of not Mecha Base, that's Busan, of Control Center.
Both are enclosed.
Yeah, just got my enclosed maps mixed up there. Ends up going the way of Best Buds, and now we go to Night Market. And I mentioned this at the beginning. I think that both the style of play that Spectre likes and the style of play that Best Buds likes is viable on this map. However, with 9 seconds left, it looks like more of a brawl composition is going to be coming out from Spectre. I'm actually very curious about this. They seem to think that brawl is the way to go, but they haven't looked too great in the brawl 1v1 so far.
Yeah, and you know, Best Buds did win the previous control map that started off the series, and Big Pin is going to be what opens up. Hattori does pay for it with his life. He got pushed way far in the back, out of position, and as fast as the fight started, Spectre has already cleaned up Best Buds.
Both teams decide to go with the Doom Fist here, and it seems that it's clear when you look at the ult percentage which one got more value out of that fight. Of course, Doom is very much a boom or bust kind of character. For Rain, it was boom. For Backstab Bud, it was more of a bust. But now we head into this next fight, honestly, with not many ultimates on the board, the first fight ended up going so fast that it's pretty much still a neutral fight coming up.
Right, and this is match point for both of these teams. Spectre has to win this map if they want to stay in the fight. Otherwise, it's going to be Best Buds taking round 4. Best Buds trying to engage forward. They have that immortality field used up early. Backstab punches Pinhead straight to the back of the point, and now they're trying to continue keeping this momentum. Sloth was so charged up, but he fell very low, had to give some room, and now Best Buds are doing their best to continue trying to aggress forward. The wall is there. It's going to be able to mitigate the damage and let them dance around the incoming damage, and now they are dancing forward straight into the Ant Matrix of Cohen, but I don't know if it's going to matter. They are trying to aggress past it here a bit in the back line and just dance around the middle pillar as well. Still moving forward, but the Shatter dividing catches a couple. The Fire Strike's there to follow up, and right now Spectre is doing everything they can to stall the point in their favor. Holy smokes, another back and forth. I thought Spectre was going to lose the point for a moment, but they proved me wrong, dividing.
The support line of Spectre comes up huge. First, it's the Ant Matrix of Cohen to really stall things out for as Best Buds tried to push in. And then it was the beat from Pinhead that was able to sustain the remaining members of Spectre to finish up the rest of the fight. And this is last fight territory now, 85% and counting for Spectre on this map.
Oh, backstab gets Cohen with an opening punch from the back line. This fight has broken out just before the point itself, and both Doomfists strike down straight in the center. The kills are coming through for Best Buds, and it's OT bar here. If they don't flip the point and hold strong and play perfect defense, they could lose this round.
Yeah, this is just about swapped from what we saw in Control Center. Now it is Best Buds with the match on the line here. If they can pull off a perfect defense, then that's it. This game is over, and Best Buds moves on in the winner's bracket. But all Spectre needs is one more good fight to bring us to a decisive Game 5 Map 3.
That's right. Can Spectre go the distance here? The engagement comes through, and it is a amplification matrix from Best Buds versus the wall from Rymazing on Spectre. Who can dance around? Hattori throws that fire strike, taking out poor Pinhead on the defensive end. The sound barrier isn't good, or the self-destruct coming through. Can they find the value? There it is. Kai continuing to hold strong, and Best Buds fending Spectre off.
And now with 50% left on the clock, this is kind of an awkward position for Spectre. They have one more good fight left in their time bank, but if they lose this, it won't be over, but they're going to have to swap onto fast characters to get back onto the point. This is probably their last really good chance. They're probably going to, they have Pinhead's beat available, and they will also have the Shatter.
Oh, what a suspended Shatter. He got booped up for a moment, able to really redirect it at the last second. Constant does go down. Backstab Bud just punching everyone left and right. Best Buds looking to make a stand here and prevent Spectre from having any type of recontest.
The silver lining there for Spectre. It was a very quick fight. 85% and counting now. They have a little bit of time to put themselves back together. Rymazing is going to use the teleporter to get them back to point faster. Rain has the seismic slam, but that's really all that Spectre's working with right now.
Ultimates fly left and right, and Kai self-destruct manages to find one. Best Buds are going crazy in the kill feed here, and Spectre needs to do everything they can to try and take this round back. Best Buds wanting to win this, and it looks like they have taken the win against Spectre and are advancing on to round 5 of our North American Open Division Cup.
Oh my goodness, the night market ended up being the decider, and it was in fact Spectre who opted into the brawl matchup with Best Buds. It had not worked out well for them in the past, and it does not work out for them again. Best Buds, after a truly barn burner of a match and a real clash of styles, they will continue their Cinderella story on to winners round 5. And unfortunately for Spectre, it was a very good game from them, but they're going to have to fight it out in the lower bracket.
Yeah, they're gonna have to join the list of people that Best Buds overthrew unexpectedly and have to go up against drifters down there as well, potentially. Uh, Best Buds doing a fantastic job performance wise. You talked about the clash of styles, and I have to say that hit the nail on the head. That was very apparent coming through between the different rounds of map types, I think for sure. And I gotta say, I wonder if the style of control, meaning, how aggressive you need to push, how you need to be instigating your fights, and that pretty much a lot of the fights are head-on collisions, in a sense, definitely played its favor into Best Buds a little bit more than Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, Control is very much a an aggressive sort of map style. It's all about pushing. It's all about aggressively pushing into your team to force them off of the point. And yeah, when it comes to that, Best Buds seem to have the advantage in that kind of play style.
Yeah. And, we talked about what they have going on behind the scenes. And, well, it seems like the power of family is very strong with these guys. And, they're going to be progressing on to round 5. And, well, looks like we're going to be sticking and saying buddy buddy with Best Buds. We're going to be
This one.
following them over to round 5 against their next opponent coming up, folks. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to see if Best Buds can continue their Cinderella story and their win streak, or, if they're going to have to join some of their past opponents in the losers bracket. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back soon. Hi, folks. Welcome back to the North American Open Division Cup. For those of you just joining us, I am Waffles for Sid, and with me is Dividing, and we are now going to be covering round 5 of the Open Division Cup. Now, Dividing, last match just blew me away. We went all 5 maps, going the distance, and now we're here to see if, these two teams can go the distance and stay in the winner's bracket. We have Bubble Baller Babes going up against Juice World Aimers.
Yeah, two incredible team names, I must say, but also incredibly qualified rosters on this team. Did as much research as I could between matches. Bubble Ballers Babes, while many of them are changing their names here, there are a lot of contenders players in here, especially from Team Wisp. As we get into our first map of Oasis here, you'll see Paolumu is actually Anduari from Team Wisp. Some of you might remember Dusk, who was on Team Wisp and I think their first contender season and then left the team. I also believe that Snail Gang is Vega from that team, and J-Bubs, I believe, was a sub for Wisp as well. And most notably, of all of those, is iZone on this team, who people might recognize as Pascal, coming in from Noble and or Revival, a guy who's actually won contenders in the past. Meanwhile, we're looking on the other side. We can see Zera, Afterstory, and Swift with some new players. I know for sure that these guys were on the team No Evil, who made it over to Contenders Trials at some point last year, ended up not making it any further, and now they are back trying to prove themselves once again that they are worthy of the title of Tier 2. Starting off on Oasis Gardens, though, we're going to be seeing some dive coming out from both teams. Astro on the side of Juice World is going to be going on the Winston, while J-Bubs is on the ball.
Yeah, looks like Triple B is going to be going ahead and moving forward and trying to take that high ground position early on. They're going to be able to see anyone from Juice trying to move in onto the point, but the fight has broken out so far in the backline. Dividing, it's not anywhere near the point. They went and took the fight straight over to Triple B here, and Astro gets the first kill onto Blizz. Now Juice World goes ahead, backs off to go ahead and cap the point and give some space, and will make sure that they have the point in their possession for this opening skirmish.
Yeah, J-Bubs did, the Wrecking Ball thing, moved up way ahead of his team to try and disrupt Juice World, but while he was doing that, they pushed up so far forward and just took the 5v6. Now Paolumu got caught a little bit by Zera there. Zera gets another pick now on the iZone, and this is just going so well for Juice World right now. They're playing a lot more together. They're playing this sort of dive expertly right now, and it is currently honestly it's Triple B, Bubble Baller Babes on the back foot here. And when it comes to their credentials as individuals, you probably wouldn't be thinking that this early.
Yeah, but Juice World Aimers took down Regen in their previous match, and they are going to be riding that high of dethroning such a, prominent team in the Open Division Cup. You can see that they are on point today as far as controlling this point, engaging together, and well, Zera has been putting so much pressure on this backline, just being a constant nuisance around the sides as well. We'll have to see how this engage comes through. It's 3 people caught by Kendrick's EMP. Paolumu goes ahead and throws the pulse, though. That is going to be a kill onto the support with less sustainability coming through. It's going to be tougher for Juice World, but we'll have to see if they can hold strong on this point. They're doing what they can to stall out, but that's a flip, and Triple B going to have the point.
Beautiful play from iZone, aka Pascal. Did an incredible job staying out of the way of Kendrick's EMP and putting themselves in a great position to sustain through the ultimate barrage that Juice World put them through in that fight. However, with 84% on the clock, firmly in one fight territory for Juice World, they're going to have Zera's Pulse Bomb and the beat from Lover that is going to hopefully push them through to a first round win.
Good try at trying to eat that pulse bomb, but didn't find a target it was looking for. The mines are everywhere, and that is the zoning that Triple B needed to fend off Juice WRLD once again.
And I think Lover actually got his beat canceled. It never went out.
Ooh.
That is so crucial now. There is no beat in the way of Palumu to potentially get a big pulse bomb here. Dusk can do a bunch of work with the bomb, and of course iZone with the only defensive ultimate on the board right now, just in time for Kendrick to get the EMP online.
Kendrick stunned. He was spotted and then instantly stunned and deleted by both supports. That's going to be a huge disadvantage for Juice WRLD, and they have to wait for Kendrick to come back after that. There's no way.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, what was looking so good for Juice WRLD to start off is getting very hairy. Kendrick has the EMP, but that's really all. Yeah, actually, Swift is going to have the Coalescence as well. But iZone is, I'm sure, more than ready to counter it with his Transcendence.
Stunned! He was going to go for the EMP, and he got stunned out of it. No one was caught by it on that front. Holy cow! The backline from Triple B is absolutely nutty in spotting this Sombra right now, and the engagement is coming through, trying to find those picks. There it is, Juice WRLD getting the traction to flip this point over at the last possible second for themselves. We are in last fight territory, so Triple B cannot give this up. They've got another couple picks in their favor, and now they have to push forward. It's a 95% and counting, and they have got to be on the point if they want to have a chance at taking it. They are about to cap it here, and with those last couple picks, they're able to flip it potentially back in their favor, dividing. This is one back and forth match here, giving and taking, and the sound barrier coming through from Juice WRLD is going to reinforce them here for this last attempt to fend off Triple B and push them off the point. Obviously, Triple B has something to say about it. They are partially capped. 5 people, though, clipped by that EMP, and it's going to be about capitalizing on it if they can. Snail Gang goes down, but it's not without a big cost. Juice WRLD has lost quite a few people, and no one is giving up any room on this point dividing. Everyone's doing a great job at dancing back and forth, and there it is, the flip, and finally the cap over last moment to Triple B.
And this is what I think separates, like, the good teams from the great teams. I mean, that fight went on for over a minute. Both of them trading back and forth. At that point, all original fight plans were completely out the window. And it comes down to which team is able to stay together long enough to get themselves a big enough advantage to take sole possession of the point for just a second. In this case, it was, in fact, Triple B. Gotta give a huge shout out to Snail Gang and iZone, also known as Pascal and Vega, because the two of them did an incredible job minimizing Kendrick's ability to get value on these EMPs, both with the transes and with the stuns. I mean, yeah. Beautiful stuff from them. As now we move on to City Center, and we see a much more traditional sort of dive comp coming out from Juice WRLD aimers, and Bubble Baller Babes sticking with the Ball Diva comp.
Yeah, and the fight is actually getting pushed back very far away from the point itself. This is like a bit of a deja vu from our first engagement. Looks like iZone's the first person to draw blood, and Triple B knows that it's time to capitalize on that. They push forward, and they're probably going to be able to take the point right after.
Yeah, Pascal is just doing an absolutely incredible job on this Zenyatta. Usually seen as a fragile pick, but proving that he is just as much as a DPS on this team as Palumu and Bizarre right now. Just some beautiful stuff coming in. Look at Dusk here. Looks like he's kind of camping the Sombra TP. He's trying to see if he can catch Kendrick unawares. We'll see if that ends up working out. No, he is forced away by the rest of his team.
Yeah. I mean, it's still point in possession of Triple B now and counting, and, you know, Juice WRLD does have a great pulse bomb eat coming through from After Story. That's big, but it's not going to be enough to really turn the fight for them. That early pick coming through from the Echo and all this focus fire on the front line is just devastating right now.
Yeah, and now, I mean, these fights have been very quick, but they have been very decisive in favor of
Mhm.
Triple B. Now, though, this is a very good opportunity for Juice World aimers. Zera's going to have the Pulse Bomb online. Swift is going to have the Coalescence to help them aggress. And Afterstory and Hunelover are very close to the ultimates of their own. This is probably the best chance they've had so far this map, as they seem to have cut out J-Bubs. He's down.
Yeah, he was all by his lonesome way over there, and now the pressure is coming through onto the other members of Triple B. The duplicate has to be committed here by Biz, and well, he is looking to try and build that Primal Rage quickly. It's about to be online, and now that it's popped, he's going to be able to continue to zone Juice World out as much as possible. That Moira is vulnerable in that state, but those heals from the Coalescence able to keep her topped off and not really worrying about Astro once he was hacked up dividing.
Yeah, and the thing about City Center is it is a famously difficult point to flip. Even though the advantage seems to be in favor of Juice World aimers, it's taking them so long because it's so easy with that big pillar in the middle for Bubble Ballers Babes to contest. But they finally do get the flip, and it is going to take a perfect defense now to bring us to a map 3 on Oasis. Both Dusk and Afterstory have their beats and bombs online, but really not much else right now.
And we see that Kendrick is here on the high ground as Sombra as well, gonna have a lot of vision and trying to take down those supports in the back, but it is not enough. Holy smokes, Triple B absolutely bloodthirsty coming through past or iZone and Biz doing a lot of work together, but the point is still in favor of Juice World. Juice World knows that they cannot give this up. They have to play that perfect defense that you were talking about, and well, they are trying to fend off Triple B, but Triple B is just continuing to press forward and put the onslaught on them right here. The overtime bar has triggered, and they have to get on the point. No one's there to contest, and just at the last minute, there it is, Zera doing their best to zip around and keep this fight alive, but it is going to be tough, and there it is. Triple B going ahead and taking the first win of this series.
The support line for Triple B was incredible. Snail Gang got so many crucial stuns off, and iZone in the zone here. Look at this fraggy Zenya here. I mean, Doa would be so proud of this guy as he just pushes through. Look at all those headshots on the Hunelover.
Man.
I mean, honestly, he's almost smurfing in this kind of division. He really deserves to be up there in contenders, and that first map really showed us why.
Yeah, and breaking into that branch of Overwatch is really difficult for a lot of people, and that is part of what Open Division is about as far as the path to pro. But from personal experience, sometimes you have these almost like invisible walls that you got to punch through to really make it to the next level. And just trying to break through it is so difficult. It's almost more difficult than some of the smaller adjustments or, fundamentals that you can work on. And, it's takes a lot of tediousness. And we have seen that these players are here to invest. You talked about all the different teams they were on and the growth that you've seen from those other teams. And now they're here to bring all of that knowledge together and try and take this cup.
Yeah, and as of right now, it was Triple B who seemed to be a little bit more put together here. They played this sort of disruption-based comp with the Wrecking Ball at the forefront, and it really, honestly, worked out pretty well for them. Juice World aimers, they played this sort of really fast dive comp with Winston Diva and a Lucio from Hunelover, and it seemed to do well for them in the beginning of a fight. They were able to buy themselves a lot of space, but then it seemed they got maybe a little bit too comfortable in their positions because BBB did an incredible job of not breaking, and in fact, being able to catch out when someone from Juice World was a little bit out of position and finishing off those kills. I mean, it was an extremely well practiced team. Interestingly, looking at the lobby, it looks like we have a sub coming out from Juice World. It's going to be Kabe that's coming in for Zera on the DPS position. Very interested to see what that means moving forward into our next escort map.
Yeah, we saw Zara on that tracer beforehand, just being quite the nuisance to the backline. But I wonder if Kabe is maybe one of a different specialist to bring to the table here. If we are going to hold true with the map that we're currently showing, our hybrid map, surprise, will be Eichenwald. Oh,
No, it is escort next. I think that's just what it
okay,
rolled
that's right.
to.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is
Pick
actually
myself.
going to be Havana coming out from Juice World Aimers. Very interesting escort map pick. Havana, I think, is very well known, especially for those for the extremely long sight lines you could potentially give a sniper. Super famous for that high ground that's just opposite the first attacker's spawn. That just gives any sort of sniper so many good sight lines in anyone's. And it turns out, I think Havana isn't actually eligible to be picked. So it's going to be Junkertown instead, but this still holds true that it is a very good sniper map due to its long
Yes.
sight line. So I think the same idea is in effect here for Juice World.
And for Junkertown, the sightlines are also, they are just, I don't know if they're just as long. There's definitely some that are easily just as long as that Hanamura spot. But Junkertown has like a massive arc of how wide around you can take that sniper angle for that long sight line. You've got the high ground where, when the respawns are coming through, they can stand on top of that bridge. And then they can go all the way, a full 180-degree crescent around
Mhm.
to this far ledge. That is so much space to potentially take advantage of. And I mean, free fire from all angles onto the unfortunate enemy walking into your maw.
Yeah, as we look on, it looks like it's going to be Juice World who is going to be on the attack first. Both teams currently showing an Ash Palumu on the side of BBB. Sorry. And it is, yeah, Kabe being brought in, I assume, as the sniper specialist here, bringing in an Ash of his own. But interestingly, Double Shield, a very sturdy comp coming out from Juice World, while Triple B is playing a bit more disruptive. J-Bubs is going to be staying on that Wrecking Ball, trying to knock people off of high grounds, while Dusk is probably going to be the main person kind of sticking on the cart with his shield.
Looks like everybody's a little crispy coming out of spawn. Doesn't hurt when the dynamite's there to give a little bit of extra chip damage opening up. Right now, we see Juice World taking the high ground, and, well, they've already had to give a lot of space. Biz getting a lot of value on that. Hanzo just berating them and forcing them to have to pay him a lot of respect. His ability and potential for picks is nasty, and well, it looks like Palamu on this Ash pocket takes down Kendrick. Kendrick was trying to zip around, but the reinforcements are too much, and so is the damage. The tanks in the meantime are trying to fight for space on the payload, but Triple B starting to continue pulling ahead and rolling this cart forward. Look at how much angles they have taken around Juice World, slowly encircling them and slowly collapsing around them as
They're
the
all
payload rolls
trapped.
forward. Yeah! They're stuck right there, cornered behind the Ant Matrix. They've got some shields to mitigate, and that's going to be enough to finally take down Dusk and stop this payload.
Yeah, that was looking very scary for Juice World for a second. And we saw just how much value having that Mercy boosted Ash can have. As still, Paolumu is just fighting off by himself. Snail Gang gets taken out, so it's only a matter of time before Paolumu does as well.
Right.
But they were able to get that advantage because of the damage boosted Mercy getting an early pick off on to Kendrick. As now we head into the second fight, a very long fight, but now the payload so close to the end of point A. Juice World getting set up now for another defense. They will have several ultimates coming up online in just a second.
Triple B already encircling Juice World once again. Ash on one side, Hanzo on the other. They've been backed into the small room once again. They're stuck in the same spot they were before, and they have to send Bob to try and contest the point. He gets booped back, and there it is. Capped for Triple B.
Yeah, and we see how, you know, these double shield comps, they end up just forcing themselves to, as Biz is like, I don't even need to take you out. I'll let my buddies do it for me. But you see how these double shield comps are often forced to back up and play super passively, and that makes it very difficult for them to continuously contest the cart. Silver lining here, though, for Juice World is that they lost the fight, but they did not use very many resources to try and hold on to point A. They pretty much only used Kabe's Bob. They're going to have all 5 of their other ultimates available for this recontest. But they need to recontest quick because we're already almost halfway through Streets phase.
Alright, I didn't know Snail Gang could sit up on that ledge of Junkertown. No, taken. Dusk goes ahead, takes down Hyloon, but oh, another kill coming through. It looks like Triple B is just rolling this point uncontested, dividing. No one is putting any brakes on the payload.
This is brutal now for Juice World. Their comp is so slow, and they took so long to get set up that it was one fight. It was one fight for Triple B to push through the entirety of point B. That just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and the Dragons tearing through them and cornering them once again into another small room. Holy smokes, it feels like Juice World is getting corralled into the small room of Triple B's choice. They go ahead and commit that supercharger, but Triple B backs off. They don't want any part of it. I would give space too, dividing.
Yep. Well, this is great for Triple B because they finished the point. They have the closer spawns. They can just wait for Astro's supercharger to fade away, and now they can push back in.
And the Ant Matrix is committed as well from Juice World, fending back the members of Triple B, but not sure that was gonna be, you know, it might have been a little early from that. Now the slam, definitely successful coming through. Triple B getting some traction again. That trance is gonna keep everyone so topped off during the flux, and Afterstory cannot find the value he's looking for because of it. Kabe gets a kill on the back end, but we'll have to see if the damage can persist. The minefield is nasty for Juice World to try and walk through and deal with, but they are getting booped left and right from J-Bubs. Holy smokes, dividing. It looks like Triple B going to be able to push it a little bit, but man, Juice World's getting some defense, some defensive stall in.
They are playing around these choke points very well. Juice World is. They're trying their best to break sight lines from the members of. Oh man! But as I'm talking about that, Paolumu has found a great sight line, gets 2 off that fight. And now, all of a sudden, I mean, this is the downside to holding so close for Juice World. The respawn room for Bubble Baller Babes is so close to the cart that before they even have a second to breathe and try and recuperate for the next fight, Triple B's already back.
Yeah, and that is the amount of pressure that Juice World has to deal with, and that it's constantly knocking them off balance. The flux here opening up the fight is going to be tough for them, but that Fortify helping cancel out some of the effects for Astro there. Oh man, they've picked J-Bubs early, and dividing, that's going to be, I mean, that's going to be a serious wrench in the chain for Triple B on this attack.
Yeah, now Juice World are in a very good position. They now have the, it's even with Dusk getting that pick off, this should be Triple B backing off.
Yeah.
They are now in a position where they now have the spawn advantage, and the ball is pretty much now in Triple B's court to really get a decisive fight win and push this through to the end of Junkertown, a notoriously difficult point to push to the end of. However, they do have tools. Paolumu is going to have the Bob coming up, and J-Bubs will have the minefield. It's going to be used early, and it takes out Human Lover.
And a Swift on top of it, too,
no
dividing.
Supports.
Holy smokes. Those are some deadly minefields. Everyone's getting booped around in them. Looks like the couple changes coming through from the teams. I mean, Biz on the Hanzo, paying dividend. Kabe on that McCree, not quite as much as he was looking for. And now the payload is just rolling forward ever closer to the third checkpoint. Right now, Triple B looking to try and close out this map. There's only 1 minute left, and with how long these fights have been going, I'm gonna guess this is last fight territory. You're gonna push into Hoon, who has the rally, and that is gonna be a huge saving grace to allow herself to top off her team. There it is, reinforcing them with this engagement here in this lower archway area. The Bob Throne puts in a lot of peppering and mitigating damage, but I don't know if Juice WRLD is going to be able to withstand. They're holding strong so far, but iZone manages to get a pick on the side. Can he continue holding? No, the tag team is there, and now we're at 26 seconds and counting. Triple B trying to give any space they can for another chance to recontest.
The supercharger from Astro was key. The damage boost onto every member of Juice WRLD ended up just being too much for the members of Triple B to contest with. Now it is final fight time. If they can get back to the point, and I think they can, especially if they go through the bottom here, they'll be working with the Dragon Strike from Biz as well as the Gravitic Flux from Dusk, but that's really it.
Dragons tear through the point, forcing some people out of the way. High Noon from Kabe finds iZone in the process, but he gets taken down by Dust.
They got a touch.
Now Triple B doing everything they can to move this payload forward. They've got the kills in their favor, and all they gotta do is just keep moving right along. Right now, Kendrick trying to do their best to stall out. They've got the pulse bomb, doesn't find the stick. Needed to have a big kill there, but getting some kills. Oh man, that Bob is gonna be tough for anyone wanting to stall out the point, and there it is. A 3rd-point cap by Triple B.
The zoning power of the Bob combined with the minefield, it was impossible for any member of Juice WRLD to exist 5 meters away from the point. Just incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Great ult usage coming out from Triple B to finish out Junkertown in overtime, though. So there is room for Juice WRLD to potentially improve on it, but they need to be able to prove that they can match Triple B's aggressive playstyle. They were extremely passive in their defense, which is fair because it's defense. Right. But but you can't play like that on attack and expect to get value.
Ready for battle.
Well, and there's a difference dividing from playing passive to just giving space. I didn't really think that there was a lot of, I mean, I feel like when you're playing passive, right, you're waiting, you are trying to create opportunities and not just give up space. There's a reason you're giving that advantage to them, so you can either take it away or pull a switcheroo or encircle them potentially, like we saw coming through from Triple B. But yeah, this is a tough match going in, and man, Triple B has been on point. Like you mentioned, those supports. You said it all on that front. They were on fire.
Yeah, quick pause coming out right now. We should be getting back into it very soon. I can talk about what we're seeing right now, though, and that is Triple B on the defense currently showing a double sniper composition. Palumu is currently on the Widow, and Biz on the Hanzo, especially on this first map. If they can really lock down these sight lines, especially if Kendrick stays on this Genji, he's gonna have so much trouble closing that distance and finding value on this pick.
Yeah. Closing the distance on a sniper.
Tough.
If you don't have cover, your only hope is to be Sombra, and they can't just see you walking up their sightline alleyway and free firing on you. Obviously, you've got those divey characters that can handle it much better, but on Junkertown, sometimes there's only open space until you get to the sniper, and dividing, what do you do then? There's no cover.
Die is what you do. You hide behind your tanks, and once they die, then you die. Now look at Kabe here. He has a little bit of a sight line, but luckily Snail Gang finds the opening and closes it up. So going to be swapping back over to the Ashe. A little bit less long range ability, but the Dynamites can definitely do a lot to try and force people off of high grounds, as Juice WRLD is going to push forward into this bridge. Is going to be the first real test of their comp.
And that dynamite, when it catches a lot of people, it can force a lot of resources out from your supports. And that is very, very tempo setting in fights. The halt coming through, grouped up 3 of them there. Couldn't quite get the kills onto them, but oh, the sight line is deadly. We saw Kabe just get taken out in front of our eyes right there. And now Triple B continuing to aggress forward. Kendrick trying to get that kill, but 4 can't quite get it.
A 4K coming out from Paolumu, the Widowmaker, showing why she is named as such. A beautiful play coming out from the snipers of Triple B, completely outplaying Juice WRLD on this initial fight. However, Swift is going to be coming up on his Amp Matrix coming up soon, which is only going to make Kabe more difficult to deal with.
Great, Kabe more difficult to deal with. I'm sure Triple B will be so happy about that. They are going to be happy about the early pick onto Kendrick, but with another pick coming through onto Astro, they're going to be sitting even prettier. Oh man, Juice WRLD trying to do their best to push forward here, but they can't quite seem to get the traction they need, and once again they're being encircled from all angles dividing.
Yeah, Paolumu is just sitting in the back here without a care in the world. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Kabe is supposed to be the one who really tries to get in the back and contest him. But really, I mean, from very long range, the Ashe versus Widowmaker matchup really tends towards the way of Widowmaker. She is a lot more equipped to deal with the long-range duels. So it's been very difficult for Kabe to match this.
And there's no mercy pockets either to make it a little bit easier on the DPS. We see the Snake coming around here as the Widowmaker, trying to get that additional angle and, well, put the pressure on. Kabe already getting taken out of the picture is big, and now Triple B just continuing to shut down Juice WRLD on this Junkertown attack.
Yeah, now 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Astro swapped over to Wrecking Ball for a minute. It's going to swap back now, and Kendrick is also going to swap to a Hanzo. Get themselves in a bit more of a double sniper situation, trying to match now what Triple B is doing, but it's looking so tough for them. This is their best scenario, though, as Afterstory gets off a nice Gravitic Flux to open things up.
Ooh, and that accretion to try and stun him out of it missed by just an inch there. Definitely made me catch my breath. Oh, Blizz just pops Kendrick in the face with an arrow. Kabe doesn't turn, doesn't know that he's shooting at him from the other side, and he takes down the other DPS. Now, once again, Juice WRLD's funneling into the side room as Triple B free firing and, well, waiting for them to uncorral themselves and walk out of the different funnel areas.
Yes, and now, oh man, 30 seconds left for Juice WRLD has been completely stuffed up to this point and are swapping. They're using ults. They're doing everything they can, and it just doesn't seem to be enough. All they have is Swift's Amp Matrix, which could be huge, but they're also playing into the Trans from iZone. Biz will have the Dragon Strike, and honestly, Paolumu will probably have Sights as well coming up into this final fight.
Oh. And Paolumu with Sights is going to be so difficult to try to push into. Everyone's going to have the vision, and there it is. Dragon's already tearing through Juice WRLD, splitting the tanks away from their supports. Poor Afterstory is caught all by himself here on the outside. His other counterpart able to zip back and regroup, and now they're all on the point, brawling it out. The fluxes come through just after Immortality Field is used up, and oh, did he just get stunned out of it midway? That was huge. Doesn't matter though. OT bar is very, very quickly trickling down, and as soon as Juice WRLD gets off of this map is going to Triple B once again.
And on Juice WRLD's map pick as well, they wanted this. They thought that if they brought it to a sniper's land, this would be what they needed to put it together. But the snipers of Triple B, you know, the Paolumu, Biz, and of course iZone, all 3 of them putting on a total clinic on how to snipe on Junkertown, and with authority, Triple B brings themselves up to match point.
With authority indeed. That was a very decisive map as far as, you know, their performance on the offensive side, and Well, defensively, I think they absolutely made a statement there, holding right at the beginning. Bubble baller babes, quite a mouthful, but Triple B now at match point dividing. So they're going to be looking to, try to continue to cleave ahead and progress to the next round.
Yeah, and with like how terribly, I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Juice World were completely outclassed on their offense there. No matter
Yeah.
what they tried, no matter what they swapped to, Triple B just sniped them out of the air, and they they just weren't really able to get anything going. So I think as we head into a halftime here, they've got to have a really serious conversation about how exactly they think they're going to be able to beat Triple B, what they need to change, because as of right now, Triple B is looking to be on a whole nother level, uh, and
And
they
in a
just need
whole
one
nother
more.
bracket.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, they have been, definitely trying to establish themselves here. Uh, Curious to see what's going to be rolling out in our next map. Uh, Juice World going to have to step up their game here. Otherwise, it is match point, like you said, for Triple B. Folks, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back and we'll see if Triple B is going to sweep the board or if Juice World is going to make a stand. Hey folks, welcome back to North America Open Division Cup. We are about to hop straight into the game, folks, into King's Row of our round five right now. Dividing, we're seeing Juiced World Aimers go up against Bubble Baller Babes, and so far Triple B is up 2 and at match point.
Yeah, for those of you just joining us, we just saw these two teams go head-to-head on Junkertown, and to be fully honest, it was not pretty on the side of Juice World. Bubble Baller Babes were able to push the point all the way through Junkertown, and then they full held Juice World at first point on the defense. So I figure the thought process coming through for Juice World is, well, the sniper map didn't work, so let's try the exact opposite and go with a brawl map instead, and see if maybe that will go a little bit better for us. And I sure hope so. I really hope that we can take away some good stuff about Juice World coming up into this map, because it hasn't been that close so far.
Yeah, well, they've been really struggling with the aggression Triple B has brought to the table and continue to just give and give space without actually taking that chance and opportunity to push back and take back the space or hinder the movement. Right now we can see this brawl style definitely encourages a much more in-your-face and forward marching type of style, and well, they're trying to take down Triple B around this statue. It's gonna be the Fire Strike though that manages to catch Hoon and take him out of the equation. Now, once again, Juice World is on the back foot and having to continue to back away and give space dividing. It's slowly ticking up into Triple B's favor. 1 tick, 2 ticks, almost 3, and that's gonna be a terrible wall off for Juice World and sealing the deal for Triple B right there.
Yeah, honestly, beautiful aggression once again for Triple B. Even with some decent walls coming out from Kendrick, they were just able to sustain through it and push back. I mean, look at the ultimates right now. We got 4 ultimates online for Triple B right now. To be totally fair, Swift did get his Amp Matrix and use it, but other than that, I mean, just the difference in ult percentage right now just says it all. At least in this first engagement, the brawl matchup went the way of Triple B, and they will have the opportunity to go really aggressive. Oh! Look at this flank shatter.
Man, that was so aggressive, and just the audacity of the flank shatter itself. Didn't even have tons of follow-up kills, a little bit of that, peppering and picking off at the end, and once again, Triple B just pushing forward, and, this is what I would call a full court press dividing.
Yeah, I mean, look at how far back Triple B have forced Juice World once again. They haven't really gotten a full fight on point B, just like Junkertown. Yep, they're about to finish.
Man,
like, we had.
This is a lot of time on the clock. Now there's 5:50 left on the clock with the checkpoint being capped, and I mean Juice World continuing to give a lot of ground to Triple B's aggression. If you were watching traditional sports, you would see the other team almost pushed into their own goal with how much room Juice World has been given. They got clipped by that Fire Strike peeking around the edge there, and now they're going to be looking to engage with their own Earth Shatter. This could turn the tide of the fight. The wall comes through, does manage to take J-Bubs out of the picture just a little bit, but he's able to skirt around. Now with the Amp Matrix coming through, though, Juice World looking to aggress back and push but Triple B out away, and that is it. They're able to hold just at the last minute.
Yeah, but it is going to take just one more good fight here for Triple B. Actually, they've decided they're not quite done. The Amp Matrix has been invested from Pascal, and now they're going to start pushing forward. Paolumu has found Human Lover, and without the Lucio, there's no real disengage option for Triple B.
What a shatter! The 4 people caught in the shatter. It's a good thing Snail Gang was not caught in the shatter. Otherwise, everyone would have been done. He put the sound barrier out just at the right time, and that just let Dusk follow up with a self-destruct, taking out even more people from Juice World. What a beautiful response to such a nasty shatter for Triple B here, and that allowed them to just roll the payload through to the 3rd point.
4 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock for Triple B. A blazing fast time for this team as they roll towards what at the moment seems like an inevitability.
Yep.
Them moving forward in this winner's bracket. Now, of course, I don't want to discount Juice World just yet. They might find something a little bit more in the tank to push through on this attack and keep them in this. But, I mean, this is it, Sid. If they're going to find that extra little bit of gas, they've got to find it right now, or else the loser's bracket is in store for them.
Oof, yeah. And there are quite a few nasty people in the losers bracket at this time. And I mean, Juice World themselves sent Regen down to the losers bracket with their own upset. And so far, it looks like they haven't quite been able to find that fire or get their foot down to bring back that same type of outcome. Triple B has just been, oh man, punishing.
Yeah, absolutely punishing, so aggressive. And look, I want to say this might be a teeny little bit of BM coming out from Triple B right now with this Ball Winston comp. Trying to play a lot faster, kind of play a little more like a dive, I'm assuming. We'll see how this fares in the brawl matchup. Kendrick's going to be on the Junkrat, which is going to just allow them to have so much spam damage. But I don't think they're expecting this.
Oh man, there it is. Engagement's coming through and the dive comes out from both the Monkey and the Doomfist. It looks like Biz is the person to go down. Both DPS from Triple B out of the equation now, and they have to give. Look at all the space they just had to give so quickly in that first fight.
Yeah, I think, Dusk just kind of went up into the faces of Juice World and said, okay, I'm going to pile drive on top of you now. And Juice World said, nah, not so fast. They're not going to let you get away with that much. So Dusk goes down super early, and without the main disruptor on the team, the rest of this comp really hasn't have much room to work. But they're going to go for a super aggressive re-engage here.
Yeah, and you can see Biz so... I mean, you said super aggressive. That Doomfist is definitely the name of the game there. He's trying to take that damage onto the backline, but Astro's just cleaving through people. Anyone who's getting too close to the payload, he's looking for him! He got the punch and then pinned right after he successfully killed Hoon there. That was such a small amount of transaction time that occurred between the two. To getting pinned right after dividing. Wow, that was a nail biter for me, and poor Dusk here getting chased way out in the back.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, Triple B are kind of on the back foot here. Snail Gang's gonna have the beat on the line here, but that's not really kind of all they have, and they're gonna be playing into the Amp Matrix, the beat, so much, but it's doesn't matter.
Playing into that beat is nasty. I mean, everyone was so reinforced from that, and after Dusk engages, you can see that J-Bubs drops the bubble, and there's a lot of healing that's being negated from Swift, and, well, a lot of damage for his own team.
Yeah, and now things are getting real hairy. As we see, Kendrick's actually in the back here, just trying to get a little bit of extra space. Dusk is, in fact, aware of it. Oh no!
Dang,
and the
that
riptire has
was audacious.
The riptire.
I can't believe he tried to pull that out. That was so close. I mean, I'm glad that was shut down. That deserved to be shut down right there. Triple B still trying to hold strong.
What is happening, Sid?
Oh, honestly, I cannot keep up with some of the wonkiness going on in this game. They did make the joke in the chat, actually, about switching over to mystery heroes. But with these ultimates online, it's definitely not looking like that for Juice World. They've been reinforced with their sound barrier, and this is going to be a great engagement. The Shatter catches Dusk, but the Immortality Field saves his life. Kabe's Death Blossom is going to be the one that follows up with the remainder of Juice World, putting in the damage and pushing the point here to the second checkpoint.
I mean, to be fair to Juice World, their time up to this point is actually only a little bit worse than Triple B. Currently kind of only about a minute behind as far as actual time, and Kendrick actually has had a chance to get set up on the point here. There's no shields protecting him, but that pirate ship could be powerful, and he's dead. Okay.
Yeah, after the pile driver came through from Dusk, and once again, the bubble placement from J-Bubs mitigating any potential heals coming through from Swift as well. Now they commit the amplification matrix on top of it, and Triple B just continuing to bowl Juice WRLD over.
Now we see the Hoggerisa coming through, which makes a lot of sense. If they are going to commit to this Bastion, they may as well decide to try and play around it a little bit more. So having that Orisa shield to protect the Bastion, keep him up, is going to be very helpful. As the other side is now swapped to a Sim Torb, this really is kind of a Mystery Heroes game right now.
Yeah, and with the pressure Kendrick's getting on that Bastion, it's going to be so tough for him to find any true value here. We see the scrappy fight, Hoon Lover trying to do their best, taking it against two different characters of Bubble Baller here, goes for the Coalescence and shut down right after. Biz goes ahead, commits that Symmetra wall. There it is, Kendrick in tank form at 10 health, gets taken down before he can find the value, and Triple B holding strong.
Yeah, at this point, it is really difficult to look at the comp that Juice WRLD is running right now and just see anything that is that's gonna help them. They have a lot of healing, I guess, because of the Moira and the Bath, and after Story can kind of take care of himself with the Take a Breather. But
yeah, I mean, it's not gonna matter how much heals you have. Triple B are just coming at them with a vengeance, and well, pretty much really wanting to show everyone where they belong in the rankings and that they are not to be toyed with. They're looking to move on to this next round with no contest and no doubts about what type of team they are and where they dominate the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think the plan for Juice WRLD right now is that they can't predict what we're gonna do next if we can't predict what we're gonna do next, you know? And it's actually working out pretty well at the moment. All of a sudden,
wow,
the picks start going the way of Juice WRLD. Yeah, Swift 16 got several picks on that fight. The bloodthirsty support coming out big. So all of a sudden, here comes some point presence. The point is going to round that final corner, and they're actually looking to try and complete this map here.
Yeah, it is match point here for Triple B, and well, they are wanting to make and seal this deal for themselves. Kabe gets that early pick onto J-Bubs, and well, can Juice WRLD's wonky comp actually pull this off? Oh, that nano, or that grenade is going to put a damper on the visor and the aggression he can bring to the table with it, but the hook onto the rolling around Dusk definitely puts a chip on his shoulder. Oh, that ante is going to be the death of Astro over there, and he doesn't manage to die? What? I thought he was going down. Does get taken down eventually, but once again, Juice WRLD needing to regroup here.
Yeah, now just a minute left on the clock. Probably one more good fight here for Juice WRLD to try and push this through with time. Oh. They could have a second fight and get it done. Kendrick takes a little trip off the edge, but they could get one more good fight in and complete it with overtime, but then it's just a draw or lose scenario with 4 minutes and 15 seconds. You really want to have that second chance at the attack.
Absolutely, and well, right now, Triple B trying to prevent any chance of a second attack from Juice WRLD. They need to hold strong here with 35 seconds left and counting. The grab is going to stagger Biz, and anyone else who follows suit is going to be in a nasty situation. Now Kendrick has fallen off once again, maybe missed that grappling, and the shatter coming through is going to put everyone on the ground.
The solo shatter. J-Bubs just decided he has had enough with this nonsense. 13 seconds left on the clock here. Palumu snipes Hewn Lover. There's no Moira, no main heals for this last fight. 5 seconds now. Someone has to touch. It's going to be After Story on the Hog.
Yeah, big sleep coming through onto that Bastion a bit, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Astro punches Biz out of the equation, dancing around that wall, and now Juice WRLD's trying to do what they can to push, but Bubble Baller has the numbers, they have the high ground, and they are continuing to bombard Juice WRLD until right now OT bar trickling down. And that's going to be it. They're going to go ahead and take the last point they needed to take the series here in round 5.
Things got a little bit wonky there, to be light on the review on that map, but
Yeah.
I think the big takeaway I had to say here is that Bubble Baller Babes were in fact the better team today. It didn't matter what Juice World threw at them, whether it was snipers, whether it was brawl, whether it was this mystery hero strat that we saw at the end. Every single time, Triple B was the better team. They were the ones who came out on top, and they are the ones who deserve to move forward in this open division bracket.
Yeah, and they clearly showed that they had what it takes to continue to move forward. And, I would say they looked very comfortable and calm for the most part. That first control map was really the only one I feel like we saw a lot of long, unnecessarily drug out fights and trickling going on. But they really tightened up the gameplay. And I mean, it seemed very crisp there, especially for the Junkertown defense.
Yeah. Triple B. I mean, we have so many incredible teams in open division this round.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate that only 2 teams can move on to trials, but we should be looking at Triple B as one of those potential teams to make their way through. They played extremely well today against a team that honestly has a decent amount of experience, and it has gotten to this point. So it's not like they're a bad team. It's just that Triple
No one
B
in
is
round
just,
5's a bad team.
yeah, it's just that Triple B is just that good.
Totally. And they definitely set a different type of bar for what everyone else needs to be playing at. And that's really what's going to set these open division teams apart from those contenders trials teams and contenders is that it is an entirely different class of quality and of skill that you need to bring to actually play with the big dogs. This is definitely a small pond compared to some of those sharks up there. And we'll have to see if they are able to, continue taking the wins and paving their own road to make it to that bigger pool up in contenders and contenders trials, or, if they're going to get kicked to the losers bracket in their next match. But dividing, this is our last match that we personally are covering. Folks, you are about to get kicked over to a couple of fantastic casters. We've got Sir Waltham and Amintus, who are going to be taking great care of you in the upcoming match. Dividing, anything you want to say before we sign off and give the baton pass over?
I just want to say that I had a fantastic time. We had 2 great games today. And I super love being here on Open Division every time. And I'm glad that I got to have this experience with you, Sid. You did a great job.
Thank you. And you
And
know what?
also,
You killed it yourself,
sorry.
dude.
And also, shout out to Narwhals, who has been our producer and our observer today. Did a fantastic job as well.
Oh, yeah. Of course, folks, big thanks to everyone behind the scenes who make the actual show and production happen. We help give you the commentary, but they are the real horsepower. So big thanks to them and, all of the tournament organizers as well from Reflash. Takes a lot to go into Open Division, and we appreciate it. Folks, if you liked what you see here from Dividing and I, feel free to give us a follow on our Twitters below. But don't go anywhere because there's more Open Division coming up. And, well, we'll have to see who actually is going to get that Contenders Trials spot. Have a good day, folks.